Hey, what's the deal, y'all? It's your boy Big Star, man. You already know what time it is, man. It's Raw Sports. Raw Sports Films is the YouTube channel. RawSports.tv is the website. Appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. I see you, Reek Wallace. I see you, my guy. It's about to go down, man. Legends Week, man. This is, hands down going to be one of our best shows tonight, man. I see everybody, jumping on already. Let me see. I don't want to miss my man RASHEED WALLACE. But it's definitely going down tonight, man. We got the legend, phenom, true phenom, RASHEED WALLACE, Simon Gratz High School, man, class of '93. Gratz Bulldogs in the building, man. The stories are going to be crazy tonight, so I want y'all to get yourselves comfortable. I want y'all to sit back and relax and enjoy this historic, legendary trip down memory lane. It's definitely going down, man. It's definitely going down. I just want to, just read off a few things, for the younger generation who, if this is your first time, joining us on Legends Week, just want to let the younger generation know this platform, man, is going to serve as a way of education, educating you on a lot of the guys who paved the way, and laid the foundation, previously for a lot of the young ballers, and for all the guys that were around in the early '90s, in the Philly pub and all that kind of stuff. This is a reminder, what I'm saying, of what was, man, and the greatness that came through Philadelphia by the name of RASHEED WALLACE, man. So let me see if we can get my guy Sheed on here. I am Sheed. Let me see if he's watching yet. I don't think I've seen Sheed on yet. But anyway, I'm gonna just until she gets on there with us, I'm gonna just read a few accolades. I see you, OG. I see you, OG Camden in the building. I see you, Mark Green. I see y'all, man. I see everybody in the building. I see you, Doodoo. 1992, two-time Parade All-American. I see you, Safizi VUU. Stand up. 1993, USA Today. Hold up, let me see. Hey Tariq, is she tuning in from his account, his I am Sheed account, or is he from yours? Because I don't think I've seen him on yet. Or the viewers flooded in, and I'm not sure if I missed him. What's up, Big D's? 5353. I see you, big homie. Jay Joseph, I see you, big dog. Philly Hoops, you already know, man. Once we get Sheed in the building, man, it's definitely gonna be a movie, man. Y'all get y'all popcorn ready, man. Y'all get comfortable, man. It's definitely going down tonight, man. And I'm also let y'all know, I appreciate everybody that that heeded to the call and sent me some classic questions to ask Sheed tonight. I wrote, a lot of the good ones down, and I'm definitely trying to get them in tonight. I see you, RASHEED. I see you, big dog. All right, here we go. I see my man Sheed in the building. Hey Sheed, if you're there, if you can see me now, just send me the request, and I'll pull you right on the screen. The legend.
You,
What's the deal, big dog? How you, man?
what's the word, beloved?
Hey, I'm blessed by the best, man. Never stressing on this side, man. Family's healthy, everybody's good, man.
Shout out.
How's everything for you and your family, man?
Hey man, same here. Everybody blessed, man. My dude's good, brother good, fam kids good. No complaints this way, man. Thank goodness.
No doubt. Shout out to Mom Dukes. Before we do anything, gotta shout out Mom Dukes, another legend, man. For anybody who was in the Philly area when you was coming up, Like it was before she'd even walked in the building. You heard Mom Dukes. You know what I'm saying? Like your mom is definitely a legend. We'll talk more about her. But she coached AAU and all that kind of stuff. Your mom was like your mom was on the ground, not just supporting you. Your mom was, on the grind, coaching everything as well, correct?
Well, she thought she was coaching me, but
Got you.
my mom don't have an athletic bone in her body, never did. So that was always a funny thing about it. She called herself telling me how to shoot jump shots and
Coaching you up.
all this other. Yeah. So, hey, I let my Duke live. Let her live. Like, yes, you're right, Mom.
I know that's right. Hey, well, I got a lot of ground I want to cover with you tonight, She. First off, I just want to say my thank yous, man. Thank you so much for giving me your time. I know how valuable time is these days in the pandemic and everything. Two things I want to break down as far as the purpose for Legends Week. It's one to I do this so that no one ever forgets, the legacy of RASHEED WALLACE. And you're still current, you're still doing your thing now. So, you're still relevant for sure. But I just want to make sure I do my part to give you your flowers. And, I do all I can so that no one ever forgets, everything that you gave to the game, on the high school level and in
Word.
Philly in the pub and all that kind of stuff. I mean, dog, this was, this is before social media, before YouTube. It was back when it was just like if you were there, you were there. You just had the memories.
Fact.
It was word of mouth, and you
And the
just
paper.
and the new the next
Daily
day,
News,
getting the Daily
Inquirer,
News, the
that's all,
Inquirer, looking for the box score. You know what I'm saying? That's all it was right there. You helped to give people long lasting memories. What the Gratz Bulldogs did and all that kind of stuff. So I just don't want people to forget. And on the flip side, with a lot of the younger high school athletes that I film and promote now, this platform and your story tonight is going to serve as a way of educating this younger generation. One, letting them know that there's levels to this game, and two, I'm just letting them hear from a gentleman who paved the way, carried the torch well when it was your turn, and
Right.
and everything. And I'm sure we're going to get into it. Some amazing things that you've done, that you've been doing, and that you're doing now off the court. You know what I'm saying? With just with who you are, your giving, your philanthropy, you know what I'm saying? All that kind of stuff. We're going to get right into it, man. But so I just want to say thank you for your time.
Oh, no doubt.
For sure. So, hey, we're gonna play a quick game before we get into the story. I call it 10 random questions. I'm going to just throw 10 things at you, 10 random things at you just to kind of get us warmed up, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to the podcast, man. You and Bonzi, man.
Yeah.
Let's get technical, man. We're going to talk about that as well. You know what I mean? Let the people know where to tune into you as well.
No doubt.
All right. So 10 random questions. Who's a local Philly player that inspired you growing up?
I wouldn't necessarily call him a Philly player, but he was the one I mainly watched, and because of my mom and family. But I would have to say Dr. J. Like,
gotcha.
All my homies hate it, but Dr. J's in my top 5 ever.
No doubt.
So,
No doubt.
But that's because I grew up Philly native. So
no doubt. Other sports you played growing up besides basketball?
My first and forever love has always been track. Even before basketball, I tried my hand at football, but hit that growth spurt. But track has always been my first and forever love.
And was that the introduction from Coach L at Gratz? You guys had to run cross country, or prior to that, you had a love for track and field?
No, that was a breeze doing it with Mr. L.
Okay.
I was a track runner before that. Only reason I played basketball, fam, real talk, was because of my older brothers. I wanted to be like them, of course. Mm-hmm. And I had a puppy dog crush on a girl who lived across the street who was all city at the time. So
no doubt.
That was the only reason I really played basketball. But before that, man, it was all track and field with me.
No doubt. Some of your, you without a doubt. I mean, I would bet money you are a true hip hop head. I know you are. I know you're a true hip hop head. Coming up in Philly in the late '80s, early '90s, the hip hop culture was crazy. So with that being said, who are some of your favorite Philly rappers all time from any era? Step '80s, '90s, your era, all that kind of stuff.
Man, I support a lot of Philly rappers. Well, first and foremost, the guys now, I think he's top dog out there, top of the food chain is Black Thought.
Facts.
I love and support Meek. The things that he do off of, well, I should say not off, but out of the studio. He does his community work. And growing up, coming for me in the '90s, growing up, it was of course you had the whole New York wave coming down, and listening to Lady B, it was always a little bit of Philly thrown in there too. I remember hearing, Jazzy Jeff, Fresh Prince. I remember hearing PSK. You know, so
Parkside Killers, that's right.
yeah,
PSK,
I
yeah.
grew up on all that, and then in the '90s, of course, for my guys, it was major figures. My man Gil, Ab Liva, you know, Spado, all the cats.
Six
They
nine
they killed
dime,
that shit,
yeah,
yeah. And then
yeah.
you know, as well, I would say going into the 2000s. You know, you had Beans, Free, you know, that whole state prop
Of
movement,
course, of course.
Gunna, Neef, you know, all that whole movement. And,
That's
you know,
right.
support all my Philly cats, man. I love them all. Trey Lee, you know,
And
doing his
look, people
thing.
forget about Tracy
Yeah,
Lee,
man,
man.
Trey Lee,
Pardon,
a
Tracy
lyricist,
Lee was
man.
a great lyricist for
And for a
sure.
lot of young rappers that's out there now, and Trey Lee is a entertainment lawyer. So there you
Wow.
have
Trey Lee was
a
always really
rapper
intelligent, smart
who's
guy,
a
yeah.
lawyer, and look, hey, it's a brother who can help y'all, man. Just shout out to my man Trey Lee.
That's a blessing, and we're going to talk more. We're going to talk a little bit more about it later on. But for this younger generation, they have no idea. Sheed was the MC. Rasheed Wallace, the MC. You know, 100X, 10th and Oxford. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Hey, beloved, that was hobbies for me.
I can dig it.
I wasn't paying no
Just
bills
having
with my
fun
bars.
with it. Just having fun with it.
My bars was like, what, man? We ain't man, get out of here. Whatever.
Lunchroom, cafeteria bars.
Right. That's it. That's as far as it go right there.
I can
I'm
dig
all
it.
copper. I ain't even
I get
I'm all copper.
I can dig it, man. Everybody was rapping in the lunchroom. Everybody had it.
Oh,
Everybody.
man. Doing the beats on the table.
Already know. What's the most points you ever put up in the box score at any level? Summer league, you know, college, high school, anything. Pros.
I would say for me, the one that I can remember first and foremost was in the league. The most I ever scored was 38.
Okay.
And I think that was against Sacramento when I was playing with Portland.
Gotcha.
I think that was about somewhere in there, 38 or 40, but
gotcha.
that was about it, man. I wasn't one to fill up the buckets like that.
Two-part question. What's the most rebounds you ever had in the game, you think?
That I don't know.
You're not sure? Okay, got you. 93 Gratz versus a top team from today. Where do you think, you know what I'm saying?
Is that a rhetorical question?
I mean,
come on, fam.
You know, you got to understand. It's a lot of kids in this that's watching right now that's 20 and under, so they have no idea. But just put it in perspective for them, man.
Oh no, that 93 Gratz team, we was a monster. We won undefeated that year, 31-0. We won a city championship and we won a national championship. We weren't allowed to compete in the state at that time because of some past history that happened. But I'm glad that now Philly and all its schools are allowed to compete in the state tournament. But we would have won the state too because we was the best team in the state. So whoever, at the time I was in high school, whoever won state, they was always number 2 or 3 in the state.
No doubt. Favorite cartoon growing up in the 80s?
Oh man, for me, I would probably have to say Underdog.
Underdog, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. No doubt. Do you recall the first technical foul you ever got in your life? The first tech that was ever called on you?
I recall the first one I got in the league.
Okay, when was that?
It was it's crazy thing about it. I was playing with the Bullets, Washington Bullets. They're now the Wizards.
Yep.
And we had came to Philly, so I was drafted number 4. My man Jerry Stackhouse was drafted number 3, and he went to the Sixers. So it was like, you know, they blew it up, Carolina brothers and blah blah blah. Now rivals, 2 hours apart. So you know, I came to Philly and was playing, and man. So it was some calls that was called, and I held the ball up like this, you know, above my head. And to be honest, I wasn't even thinking about it. It was just I'm holding the ball up, ready to throw it to the ref. And the ref interpreted that as me trying to throw the ball at him, but the ball's still in my hand. And he gave me a tech. So, I mean, then I wasn't tripping on it. I still just ended up throwing on the ball. Yeah. I wasn't tripping on it. But as far as my first tech period, I don't know.
No doubt. I know the battle rap culture, you know, another hip hop related question. Matter of fact, no, I'm going to go somewhere else with it. I'm going to keep it 80s. Everybody watched wrestling in the 80s. Who's one of your favorite wrestlers back in the day? WWF, NWA, you know, all
man. That. You know, that's when I grew up. To me, that's when wrestling was on its real grind.
Wrestling was real.
Now what they have is it's still wrestling, don't get me wrong.
Facts.
But it's a little bit more glorified. You know, the wrestlers make more money. But
no doubt.
Back then, you know, you had the Jimmy Fly Snookers and, your Hulk Hogan's there, Andre the Giant's there, your JYD Junkyard
Junkyard
Dog.
Dog. That's
So
right.
your Tony Atlas, then on the NWA side, of course, you had the Four Horsemen, Ric Flair and Telly Blanchard and all those guys,
Ole and Arn
Ole and
Anderson.
Arn, yeah. And I grew up watching a lot of wrestling, man.
No doubt.
Going into the '90s, started to watch less of it, and just grew off from there.
Got you. Who would you have said was like a non-basketball related person, not a coach, not like that, somebody from the neighborhood, somebody who may have inspired you and, gave you, some encouragement every now and then, young Bo, you know what I'm saying? Just somebody that you looked up to for some encouragement every now and then, somebody in the hood.
Oh, man, I was blessed to have quite a few, but one guy in particular was he was more like a uncle to me. He was an older gentleman uncle. He was always there to support us. Tony Johnson, he's part of the Philadelphia police force, rest in peace. He passed away quite some time ago, but he was always there when I needed him, and not necessarily for anything material wise. It wasn't no money or, I'm hungry, I need food. No, but just when I needed advice or whatever. Because for me as a young boy, I didn't have my dad. So like all my homies, like my man Al Williams, his pop was my pop.
No doubt, no doubt.
His pop got my ass whenever I did wrong, just like, I was one of his kids. So all my friends' dads was kind of I was the surrogate kid. And,
got you, I understand.
He was one of the ones that always listened to me and helped me, get a clear head with a lot of things.
No doubt, no doubt. Lastly, the 10 random questions, and somebody just mentioned it right here. ESA says, who mentioned that? ESA's, Mac Fall 313. Ball don't lie. That quote, ball don't lie. Tell me the origins of ball don't lie and what that means to you.
Man, it's just this slang terms, you use on the court. I heard it growing up on the streets of Philly, on courts and stuff. My brothers would say and all that. It's just something that was said.
The ball don't lie.
It was never really something like, like same jump. Like when you hit a three, what's that, wet ball?
That's
what I'm saying?
That's right.
It's whatever. So that's what came out, and it just got birthed in the league.
No doubt. That's what's up. Hey, well, want to get into the story, man. And the way I like to, have you guys tell your stories is I don't want to interrupt you. The audience is hanging on to every word, so I just want to give you the freedom to rap. So I have some questions, obviously, but I'm gonna just give you the freedom. So and I'll interject, however I need to, Sheed. So if you can, man, just start us off. At the point where the RASHEED WALLACE story begins, like at the very beginning, and just to start us, we'll just start there at the very beginning.
For me, man, it was a young boy. As I mentioned previously, I didn't really dig basketball too much until I got a little bit older, and I wanted to be like my older brothers. Of course, being the youngest of three boys, who wouldn't want to be like their older brothers? And it was a young lady who lived across the street who was older than me, in high school at the time as well, all city, and I had a crush on her. So I got into basketball that way. I couldn't do nothing, man. I couldn't do nothing. You hear me? Only thing I could do was run the floor because I like running.
No doubt.
And then when I was a young boy, it was no
contact. So skill wise, you ain't really have no skills and nothing like that.
Nothing.
You just run the floor. That's it.
Nothing.
Were you tall or were you average size?
Yeah, I was kind of tall for a young boy.
Gotcha. Okay, but you had no skills. You were just out there just running the floor.
Nothing. And then just from one thing I could do from watching my brothers play is block a shot. So like,
gotcha.
All right, I've always been able to have that little time and to do that. But as a young boy, that was it. So I remember playing over at Lonnie Young Rec Center. That was my neighborhood basketball court in East Germantown.
Gotcha.
So I remember growing up playing there, and boom, I first started playing basketball, summer league and all that. Got my ass bust, dog. You hear me? I got my ass bust so bad that I threw the sweaty T-shirt at the coach. I was like, I quit. And I walked home. I only lived like about 3-4 blocks from Lonnie Young. And I walked home, fam.
No doubt.
On everything. And the dude who bust my ass was a young meatball, young Farron
Hand.
Man, young meatball busting my ass. Back then he couldn't jump, but Meat had good footwork and everything. So
for sure.
Boom, my mom was like, no, you're going to go back, da-da-da-da-da. So I went back to practice the next day, apologized to the coach, to the team. And
and put in perspective, around how old were you around this time or grade?
man, I didn't get into basketball till I probably was about, I say 11 or 12. So it
Okay,
had to have been around 10.
got you.
I say that, yeah, like late 10, early
Mm-hmm.
11,
Yep.
just getting into ball.
Mm-hmm.
And but I think me probably might have been like a year, no more than that, older
Uh-huh.
than me, but he grew up playing ball. I grew
That's
up
right.
running track. So
Uh-huh.
he was dribbling back then, even for a big dude. I'm like, damn.
Uh-huh.
And he giving me the work, dog, up and unders, all that. I'm like,
Giving you that middle school work.
yo, and so my coaches over there like, come on, stop him, block his shot, and going between that, and then I wasn't getting the ball. I wasn't skilled enough to even get the ball for a layup or none of that. Being frustrated with that, and then being frustrated couldn't stop him. I was like, I took my shirt, I quit, and it was like in the middle of the third quarter,
Mm-hmm.
and I walked home. But from then, once I picked it up, it was all concentration from there.
Got.
Once I became about 12, 13 years old, got up with a gentleman by the name of Craig Black and Tennis Young
Mm-hmm.
down there at Gustine Lake. And for me, I didn't grow up with AAU. I
Okay.
mean, working out. Actually, you can't even call it working out. My job, because I was down there for hours,
Mm-hmm.
was learning basketball, learning footwork, learning timing, learning how to play defense. To me, that was the easiest part. Was to play defense, slide my feet, block a shot. You got to be a little bit coordinated to make a layup. Even if it's a little 8-foot jump shot, you got to be a little coordinated for that.
Of course.
As a young boy, I didn't know it.
Mm-hmm.
And again, my thing was track. So those two gentlemen, down there every day in Gustine doing push-ups, doing sit-ups, in a gym with Tyrone Weeks, Turk Mott, growing up and learning skills with those guys every day from when I was like 13 all the way up until I graduated from Gratz, just going down to Gustine after school. After we had practice at Gratz, I'm getting on the bus, boom, going to Gustine. I'm down there for about 4 or 5 hours, do homework there in the gym.
Work in. Yeah, putting the work in
the gym,
yeah.
because it's all I knew, and I didn't want to be in the streets. And my older brothers, deterred me from that. And I was thankful, then of course I didn't understand the young brother. I want to be like y'all. Yeah. No, you want to do this. And so and I'm glad they did that.
Of course.
Because it helped me turn into the ball player that I was. And it was just all that hard work. Again, I never played AAU. And so now here I am. I'm about 13 at about 6'6".
Wow. 13,
right?
6'6".
I'm 13.
Wow.
13, just turned 14, about 6'6". So I graduated 8th grade at 6'6".
Wow.
Right? 6'5", 6'6". I checked in the Gratz, 9th grade in '89 at 6'9".
Wait a minute. 6'6" in 8th grade. Couple months later, you checking in the 9th grade, 6'9" in 9th grade.
In 9th grade at 6'9", wiry, skinny kid. Oh my gosh, dog! It was lovely. Again, there with thank graces for meeting Mr. Bill Ellerbee. To me, one of the best high school basketball coaches, not only in Philly but in the country. And he's respected that way on all levels, collegiate, high school, and for those in the Philly area who are professionals in the NBA, they know of Mr. L as well. So
yeah. And did you know that you was going to Gratz? And did Mr. L know that you were coming, or you just popped up and he was like, "Yo, who's this tall kid walking down the hallway?"
Well, to me, truthfully, that was all stuff that my mom handled, because
I understand.
To me, as a young fella, she was the administration.
No
side.
doubt. No doubt.
So
no
for
doubt.
me, I was going to I finished off the second half of elementary and middle school up in Northeast Philly. I went to Crossing elementary school, and then I went to Wilson Middle School. And so I was on the way to the Northeast High School.
Okay.
And then, mom was like, all right, now we're going to check in here. I'm thinking we going up there, and boom, we at Gratz. So
shout out to Mom Dukes for making that happen, dog.
She was the administration.
Mom had her ear to the street. She knew what time it was.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm thankful and glad that she did, because without that, I'm not sure if my high school career would have been how it was. But once I met Mr. L, and the easiest thing, so checking in September, and we're getting right in the cross country. Oh, we running?
Oh, we
Oh,
running? Say no more. Yeah,
no
yeah.
problem.
Of
There ain't no
course.
thing for me.
Yeah.
So
So
boom,
so
we
so that
out
so
there
that so
running.
that was not a shocker for you. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad
Mm-mm.
that you mentioned that you had a history in track and field, because some players would have got there. We got to run track. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that was not a that was your lane right there.
Yeah, no doubt. Running was always me. And when we had to run, when I found out, even to try out for the team, fam, you had to run cross country.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Mr. L wasn't asking you to be, all state, all city, but if you turned out that way, okay, fine.
No
But
doubt.
if not, I just want you to give it your best, give it your all.
Mm-hmm.
All
Mm-hmm.
right, bet. So, we would run our little courses and stuff after school. It was
Yeah,
little
hey,
three courses we ran.
shout out to Coach Skip. He said, I used to see the whole Gratz team running around Tasty Cake.
Oh yeah, oh man, and that was torture. So that was back then, the fresh baked joints, and you smell it
Yes.
all in the air.
Yes.
Running by, hey, he right, fam, on everything, man. So I was, the courses that we always ran from Gratz all the way up to the Dell and back, and it was all worth it. Because
Mm-hmm.
come basketball season, it was like, all right, Mr. L's whole practice schedule, you got to run a mile before practice. Bigs got a
Wow.
time, guards got a time, and the swing forwards got a time. Everybody got their set mark, and you got to run it a mile
Wow.
before practice. Then go downstairs and practice and
Mm-hmm.
do whatever it is you do. And I did that for 4 years, man, and played baseball and ran track, in between there.
You played
And
baseball as well.
yeah,
Wow. What position you play in baseball?
uh, pitcher in right field.
Wow. See, you was truly, I mean, so I mean, like, talking about cross training and all that kind of stuff, and just being involved. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's amazing, man. I had no idea that you played baseball as well.
Oh man, hood kid, man. Used to play Indian ball growing up. Used to play half seas, cut the
Facts.
tennis ball in half, get the broomstick. See if you, man. We used to do all that. We didn't have video games like that. We couldn't afford that. All the
Uh-huh.
PlayStations and
Mm-hmm.
all the games they got, we couldn't afford that. We was out in the streets playing games, having fun. So I played all that. And your man will tell you, Bo Donaldson. I played with Bo. Him
Mm-hmm.
and Aaron McKee.
No
Of
doubt.
course, Bo, of course, he's the professional, and, he went on to the majors, but I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
nothing like him. But
Yeah.
we always used to have fun with it. He showed me a
Mm-hmm.
couple pointers and this and that, but of course, I didn't listen.
Yeah, no
So,
doubt.
because my thing was, I was like, look, I'm out here because I like doing this, man.
I
I
know
just
that's
like
right.
having fun with it. But Bo
I
was
know that's right.
technical with it, striking cats out.
I know that's right. That's what's up, man. Hey, so continue telling me. I'll just get into your high school journey. Playing with Gratz. What was that all about?
Well, with that, it was awesome. Unfortunately, I got the spotlight the wrong way.
Okay.
My freshman year, All-American Harry Moore was at a house party and ended up getting shot in the leg like 3-4 days before we were leaving to go to this tournament in Las Vegas, the
Wow.
Las Vegas Invitational. So, seeing him, he was laid up in the hospital. He was like, "Yo, young boy, you gotta go out there, hold it down till I get back." He gave me the whole
Mm-hmm.
emotional speech and
Yeah, yeah,
everything.
yeah, yeah.
And so when I got out there, I got the second part of that speech from Aaron McKee. That was
Okay.
my old head,
Uh-huh.
and just listening to him and just watching him and seeing how he was respected in the program, not just by one or two players or the coach, but respected by everybody in the program. And I kind of got up under his wing with that, and he showed me some things. And out there in Vegas, he's like, "Man, just play." He was like, "The same things we went over in practice." The
Yeah.
same things we do. He's like, just go out there and do the same thing. He's
Yeah.
like, they're not even expecting you to do anything. I'm like, all right,
Uh-huh.
I'm just go play.
And
And
you're a freshman sheet at this point.
yeah, I'm a freshman. So
So
I
so
got
so
thrown into the starting lineup.
so real quick, pause right there. Hold that train of thought. Just want to let everybody know the roster. Who was the team? So Aaron McKee, was he a junior or a
Um,
senior?
Aaron McKee was a senior. Harry Moore was a senior. We had LeVan Austin. Um, who else is on there? Calvin Wingfield, Anthony Dozier, Jamal Redmond.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say Contrail Scott.
Okay.
George Winfield, aka Toot, another baseball dude. I think
Okay.
his last name was Winfield. If I messed it up, George, my bad, bro. Who else? I think that might have been it.
Okay.
But we had a nice little squad.
And Aaron McKee was like one of the leaders of that team.
Aaron McKee was the captain. Him and Harry was the captains.
Got you.
So Harry was the captain.
So you're out of this tournament. You thrown right into the fire as a freshman,
and ended up having a pretty good tournament. And that's where, you know, I got my name out there. And you know, people have been following me. Back then, we had the Daily News / Inquirer, Street and Smith
magazine. Yep.
Of course, rest in peace, Tom Konchowski. He was doing his thing,
doing all the write-ups, following everybody, assessments, and everything. Yep.
They were.
Oh, and somebody said Dre Griffin. Andre Griffin.
Yeah, Dre Griffin. Damn.
Shout out to everybody tuned in with us. Appreciate it.
For real. Appreciate that backup right there. And
but yeah, you were saying but that's how you were starting to get your notoriety and get your name out there and everything.
And just playing ball. But you know, with Mr. L going to different places, you know, went to the Beach Ball Classic in Myrtle Beach. Went up to Latrobe, Pennsylvania. They did a little tournament up there. We went there a couple times. Went out to Las Vegas, and so we were just right there again.
These were all the trips at your freshman year.
Well, no, just throughout my Gratz
just
career.
In general. Okay, gotcha.
Throughout my Gratz career. We went up to Latrobe about 2 or 3 times.
And you guys were public school, but y'all played, you know, almost like a national, you know what I'm saying? Y'all guys got out of, Yeah, pretty much. You know, we weren't allowed to compete in state, so we were always ranked in the country. And I remember the first time going to the Beach Ball Classic and that whole packed gym, right up on you atmosphere and everything. It was love, man. But Mr. L just, I don't know, man. The way that he coaches is calm, cool, and collective. Never really seen him lose his temper too much. And it's like we all respected him for that. And everybody seen him as that mentor, as that father figure. So we all just went out there and played hard. That's why he produced, you know, so many guys throughout Philly basketball history. That's right. What are some of your most memorable? Go through like your high school years. Some of your most. I mean, I know you have so many. Some of your most memorable experiences. Let's stay right there for a second.
All right. I remember for sure. Again, freshman year, busting FLC ass in the championship game.
No doubt. And who some of the players FLC had?
That was the first time I got revenge back on Meatball.
On Meatball, no doubt.
But you know, they had Meatball. He was of course the man on the team. They had Cliff, Isaiah, Ty Weeks wasn't there for that.
Was Sean Colson there?
No, Sean wasn't there for that one. It was Kareem Parker.
Kareem Parker, my guy Reem. Shout out to my guy Reem Parker.
Who else they had? A couple other dudes. I can't remember the tall, light-skinned Keith. I can't remember his last name. But they had a squad. That was our rivals in the city. Like either we was beating them or they was beating us, but couldn't nobody else beat either one of us. You know what I mean? And so going back and forth, they were our rivals for all 4 of my years. But I definitely remember beating them my freshman year, my sophomore year, and then they got their revenge my junior year, and they beat our ass down there in the Civic Center. So they got back at us, and it hurt. It hurt like hell, you know. So now they just returned to the feeling that they felt, and but we're all still good friends to this day. And then of course my senior year when we won the city championship, those were the best things that meant the most to me. It wasn't necessarily you know, playing in this game or playing in that game. As far as my Gratz memories, that's the one thing I remember the most. But the one where we have this Philly blood, this Philly camaraderie. And I wish a lot of the young fellas that's listening and that you'll let know, I wish they could have played in the Sunny Hill League at the time. Because Sunny Hill League for me and for a lot of Philly guys, it was one, a national summer league. You know, you had guys from all over the country trying to get on teams, to high school guys to get on teams to play in Sunny Hill League, and he had it on every level. He had middle school, high school, college, and pro. The Baker League, so
down to McDonald.
And man, them was the days, them hot days. You walking into McGonagall cold ass gym, and you getting it on. And that Sunny Hill League from like about 3:30 up until about 8, 9 o'clock. You know, it's nothing but games. You seeing little high school kids. You're seeing collegiate guys who are local and again playing for other little local schools. And you also have again the Baker League with the professional guys coming back. So man, it was an all day affair, and it was basketball. It wasn't no phones. You couldn't see it, no live stream or all them other
Everybody
ways that
was
they
locked
watch
in.
now. Yeah, you had to be there.
And
Just
I
like the
remember,
joke said,
I remember that. That's right. I remember the atmosphere, man. Just walking in, it was like who's who. It wasn't nothing else going on at the time that was more important than being down McGonagall at those games. I just remember walking in, and you looking down at the game, down at the court. But you see rest in peace. You see John Hartnett over here, and a crowd of young ballers surrounding him, and you see they go such and such. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, man, that atmosphere was crazy, man.
And it was like who's who in the place.
Everybody was there. Everybody was there.
Oh man, and I remember it was great run. It was great run, and not only was it just for Sunny Hill League. Sometimes during the week, they would have some run in the little back gyms in McGonagall and everything too. So it was just ball, period.
Yeah.
So we played ball all day.
What are some of your most memorable things you remember from the Sunny Hill? Either something you've seen or something that you did and participated in?
Oh man, I remember getting it on again. Rest in peace, John Hartnett. I remember getting it on with the Diametics. That when I reached that plateau, and it was I played with Northwest. It was myself, Turk Mott, Ty Weeks. Shout out to Pooh Island. We were there, and just going back and forth with those guys on those hot days. We knew our moves, we knew they moves, but it was all about just that camaraderie, that sport, that love, going at it, and to be able to do that shit talking afterwards. So we got bragging rights now. All right, well, y'all ain't even make the playoffs. It's all right. It's all right. I'm gonna see you in the so-and-so league.
That's right.
We played all around the city. It wasn't just one specific league. We played in little neighborhood leagues. Played in Total Response. Shout out to my man Kev Rockmine for starting that up. And with a lot of guys, that's when we got our taste outside of Sunny Hill with a lot of other inner city teams. He knew people up in Baltimore, or down in Baltimore, and up in New York. So it was more hood kids coming in. We would always play down at Gustine, and he started the league. And man, I'm glad he did. That was a huge step as well, I would say, in the development of myself, just to be able to play against all of those different guys from everywhere right there at my home, right there in Philly. I didn't have to travel too much in the summer because they all came to us.
Exactly. What's barbershops, you had a game, and then, guys out on the block, or they in the barbershop talking about what happened down at Sunny Hill or what happened at such league. What's like one moment that you think people still talk about today? Oh man, I remember RASHEED WALLACE was down Sunny Hill, or he was down this league and he did this, or he dunked on a guy. Like, what's something that you think people still probably talk about?
Man, I would probably say some of that, just dunking on cats, man. Left and right. That was more my MO in high school, especially in Sunny Hill League, because I was playing with another big forward. I was lucky to play with another big forward in Tyrone Weeks.
Yes,
so,
that's right.
He's a rebound monster.
So
I'm like, all right, so y'all got to worry about him.
That's
and
right.
me, I'm like, shit, nah, it ain't gonna happen.
It's a wrap.
I was like, one of us going, one of us going to go ahead and have that good game, me or him. So
no doubt.
Just playing down there in the Hill League, and then traveling up to a 5-star basketball camp, and I think it was in Holmesdale, somewhere like that, Holmesdale, Pennsylvania, and again playing against all these New York dudes and all this. So they coming out here with the guards and the crossover and Suns and all this. And I'm up there with a couple Philly cats, and, we getting it on. It ain't no bad blood like that. But hoop-wise, we getting it on. And just all of that made it into what I am now, as more what I was.
curious for the younger, for the younger generation that didn't see you play in high school, like describe your game. Like you started out just running the floor, just a big man, focusing on defense and blocking shots. But the RASHEED WALLACE that people started to see, like when you were a junior and senior, I mean, that finesse. You had that form, a nice soft jump shot. You started dribbling a little bit, put it on the floor a little bit. What type of player did you start to develop in, and like what were some of your strengths? You know what I'm saying? As when you started to get into your groove.
Classic big man. Classic big man.
So traditional big.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
My idols growing up, watching basketball. Once I understood the game, watching basketball for me, it was Patrick Ewing.
Gotcha.
The Big East. I had a chance to see him a couple times a year playing against Villanova on TV and all that. So, and that was I'm like, man, this guy's big. And, Beast had that high arcing shot and was out there dunking on cats and that. I'm like, man, and I'm just studying and watching that. And then also, again, the work in the gym after school, catching the bus, going down there to Gustine, putting in that work. In the summertime, that's where I was at, putting in that work. And just repetition, man. That's all it was, to be honest.
Yeah.
Repetition over and over. And at Gratz, I never really had to shoot outside the post. One, Mr. L wasn't going to allow it.
Got you.
Because, again, we dealing with traditional spots.
I understand.
Your spot, your job is to score down here and in this paint area.
Yeah.
Anywhere out here is not you. You pass that ball.
Got you. Program right in there, right
inside. Right in my head.
That's right.
And then the only time I took a three was like end of quarter, hoisting one up. But other than that, during the game, no, I'm not taking no threes or any of that, because it wasn't needed. And that's also the mindset that I went into college with. I played with some great shooters.
Yeah.
I didn't need to be out there too much. I would be out there more, again, in the Sunny Hill League and summertime stuff where it was all fun and didn't matter.
Messing around. But when it was time for business, you played your role and you did it well.
Get your ass right down there on the block.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Hey, curious, but one thing you touched on, I don't want to miss it because it was very significant. These days, everybody's, playing AAU, like that's what it's all about. But back then, it was Nike, ABCD, 5-Star, Adidas, all the camps. Tell me some of your most memorable camp memories, some players that you played with that went on to the league and all that kind of stuff.
I remember my first year I went out to ABCD. It was Nike camp. It was in Indianapolis out there at IUPI. And it was crazy. And the Most High, it's already written. And reason being, I say this because one of the best in-game dunks I ever saw with my own eyes was when Corliss Williamson dunked on Serge Zwicker.
Ooh, Corliss, solid, stocky Corliss Williams dunked on
big
my guy
nasty
Serge Zwicker with the baseline jump shot.
The way he did it, when he jumped, Corliss took off first, and there was a leaning dunk like this, and he seen Serge, and he just looped it around. Boom, and put that thing on his head. I said, oh, my God, I got to make sure I do not get in this kid's way. But I would say that, and just that whole ABCD camp experience, because at the time, and again, I ended up being teammates and winning the championship with Corliss. And another gentleman I'm about to mention, Jawan Howard. He was he was one of the camp coaches out there. So knowing him and having that early mindset with him, and boom, a couple years later, ended up being teammates with him in Washington. So just that whole experience, going out there, staying overnight, and just balling, playing against some of the best guys. I remember going against Rashard Griffith, the 7'1" kid from Chicago at the time. It was battling back and forth between him and I as the best big men in the country. And going against a whole lot of heavy hitters, man. And I loved it. I loved it. It was hot and steamy. It was like an all-star game, but not personified. All-star game, don't nobody really want to play and this and that. But out here,
it's competitive. And this, Hey, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm saying that's what that whole camp experience was about.
Hey, before we get out of talking about like some high school stuff, want to mention two things real quick before we get out of that. Somebody wants to hear, they just mentioned tell an interesting Mr. L story, something about Mr. L.
So, all right. So here it is. It's a Thursday night. We playing Parkside. And
Ooh.
that's when they had my man Ralphie, Big Amari. So,
Mm-hmm.
we down there, Thursday night game, the gym is packed, it's hot. I'm like, ugh. So I warm up and it's like 2-3 minutes left on the clock, right? So I came and I sat down on the bench and I'm just focusing and I'm looking at them. I always look at the opposing team when they warm up. Why? Because they're going to do the same thing in the game.
I understand.
It's not a secret. So
You're
it's
scouting.
just,
You're scouting them.
yeah.
You're scouting them. Yeah, they
It's
running their
something
plays.
for all the
They
young
going to who
kids
they going to
watching.
go to. They work. Yeah, yeah.
So I'm watching them, right? So then Mr. L sitting to my left, he says to me, he says, "Hey, Raj." I'm like, "Yes." He says, "Do you want to play tonight?" Huh? Do I want to play? Like, what?
What are you talking
don't
about?
see me drenched right
You don't see how locked
ready
in
to
I am,
focus?
Coach?
Like, huh? You want to play tonight? Go upstairs right now and pick your fucking head. Hey, so for a lot of the kids that's out there watching, all the hairstyles that you guys wear now,
Yes.
our generation started that. The whole nappy froze,
Yes,
all of that.
yes.
We started that. So in high school, my joint was sick, right?
Uh-huh.
And I looked at Mr. L, I said, "Are you serious?" Mr. L ain't say nothing. And he just kept looking at them. I was like, damn. So Mr. L, we always got changed in his classroom on the third floor because Mr. L taught math at Gratz.
Yes.
So we got changed in the classroom on the third floor. So I'm running up the steps. Hey. Give a couple strokes to my head.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, it looked good enough. Went back downstairs. I was like, it's okay. He's like, all right.
Yeah. Listen, you had to come for the check. You had to say, Coach, is this good? You had to come and get, you know what I mean?
Hey, that was one of the funniest joints ever, man. Mr. L was serious as hell too. He's like, "You want to play tonight? Go upstairs and pick your fucking head."
Listen, and I appreciate you saying that because the respect level these days, I've been at AU tournaments or some high school games, players like disrespecting their coaches, you know what I'm saying? Let alone not the head coach, assistant coaches, they down there getting the business, players cursing them out, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, what's going on? But that level of respect, and I'm sure Mr. L ain't raised his voice. He was calm, cool, collective, and he got his point across.
He got his point across.
You respected him 100%.
And that's how he always did. And as you mentioned, that respect even went down to our JV coach, Nate Schmiegel. So it was like, okay, no, he ain't never played no basketball on the level that we did, but he got to know something. Why? Because that's who Mr. L picked as the coach.
That's who Mr. L endorsed, for sure.
Who we going to listen to? We're going to listen to Mr. L and Mr. Schmieg.
I know that's right. Another thing I want to hear about, two things on the high school level. You only is it a rumor? Is it a myth that you a lot of games you only played like the first half, and if so, then explain why in high school.
No, it's not a rumor. My freshman and sophomore year, mainly my freshman, of course, I played sparingly where Mr. L needed me, but my freshman and sophomore year, I got in here and there throughout the game. But my junior and senior year, I only played the first and third quarter.
Gotcha. And then explain why, like, and just, and then your team at that point, or what was the method behind it, or just, kind of why that was.
Well, for both years, mainly my senior year, we had a big squad, and my senior year, I think probably like everybody except maybe like two guys went D1.
Yeah, and like
somewhere.
The 6th, 7th, 8th guy on the bench. On the bench, I had Leonard Stewart,
Rondell Turner,
my man
Bump,
Jamal Redmond. You know what I'm saying?
And everybody went D1.
Yeah.
And so just that whole experience of playing with that squad out there, and Mr. L was like, all right, look, it was all a challenge. You got to go out here first and third quarter. I'm like, when I'm a young boy, I'm like, why can't I play in second quarters no more? He said, because you got a set amount of time to be able to do what you do and put work in.
Mm-hmm.
You rest the second quarter. You got warm up at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
Come out third quarter, and fourth quarter you're cheering your team. Didn't matter who we played. The only time I would say he left me in there in the fourth quarter was my senior year when we played FLC in the championship.
Gotcha.
Other than that, Mr. L, I was first and third.
No doubt. No doubt. That's
so
cool,
I got
man.
to set my mark, and we're going to have to win this game in this first quarter and this third quarter.
No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. And also something, you know, someone who's a myth, who's another legend, man, who I've heard, you know, I was cool with him. He came with the Northtown and he played with us in our summer league and everything. We had mutual friends. But real quick, man, talk about Bump. Talk about Rondell Turner. And they said, you know, he came off the bench, but he was like the leading scorer at one point, I believe, coming off the bench. Talk about Rondell and how tough he was, man. Rondell, we got to big up Rondell Turner, man. We got
no
to talk
doubt.
about Bump, man.
Bump, that's my brother, man. I love him to death. And he was special high school player, man. And again, as you mentioned, he came. I think Bump was averaging like 22.
Yeah, off the
22,
bench.
25, something like that. Yeah, off the bench.
Yeah,
and that's from
special.
putting in that work for him. That second and fourth quarter. So and at the end of the day, Mr. L, you know, had his rhyme and reason for it, like every other mad scientist, and it was to get guys looks.
Gotcha.
It was like, all right. He said, okay, everybody's coming here to see you. There, you number one player, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's good. But he said, what you can also do is get these other guys in school who might not have had the chance to be able to get seen. So that was another reason behind
dope,
his
man.
first
Just, you know,
and third.
spreading the love, getting everybody some exposure, man. Yeah.
And it worked. It worked. You know, guys want D1. That's all Mr. L had pumped out, even after I left. So
that's what's up, man. Hey, all right, well, let's transition. Let's talk about did you play up in Conshohocken at the Donofrio? That's where everybody played, you know, once your high school season was over, everybody went down to Conchi to that little small gym. Tell me about any times or memories you played down there.
Oh man, playing in Conshohocken was good. That's the first time I ran into the kid Lou Rowe.
Oh man, Lou Rowe! Shout out to Lou Rowe, a beast, man.
John Hartnett had just brought him over from Jersey. And he was playing for, you know, one of the little teams up there, and this kid was just drop stepping.
Boom! That's
hand,
right.
2 hands. Watch your head. Alley-oop. They throwing alley-oops.
UMass, right? And then he went to UMass, right?
Yeah,
he went to UMass. Yeah.
They throwing alley-oops to this kid from 3/4 court. He kept it. Boom. I'm like, all right, it's impressive. And no, I always like going against Lou because he was aggressive. He was physical. You know what I'm saying? And he was older than me, and that's what I needed. I always loved playing against older, stronger guys because you know first time I'm gonna see him, they're gonna kick my butt for sure. And the first time I played against him up there in country, he kicked my ass. You know, I'm not afraid to say that. But it was always an ongoing battle. You may get the best of me one time, but you ain't gonna get the best of me every time. And playing up there in Conshohocken, of course, you had some of the white kids that were man on their team from other state teams would come down to Conshohocken and play up there in Donofrio.
Hey,
a lot
quick,
of kids from over Philly.
Hold that thought. Somebody, Uncle TJ 29th JST said you got him dunked on by Lou Rowe.
Hey, 9 times out of 10, he dunked on me that game too, beloved.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? We was all a victim of that poster right there.
And my man James Nelson Stewart said Lou Rowe and Romaine Haywood. Remember that name, Romaine Haywood?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, but continue, man. Yeah, so many names, but continue about anything you remember about the Donofrio.
But it was just that spirit of competition, man. You know, in the spring, and again, you're going against. It's like all-star teams. Because on our team, you know, we had guys from different schools, different areas, and same thing with all those teams. You know, Jersey teams. It was Delaware teams, New York teams.
Jersey would always come over with the Road Runners. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And it was
Delaware
ball.
had a team. The Delaware team. That's where I first saw. Remember LaRon Prophet?
Yep, Ronnie. Yep.
I saw him. Yeah, I saw he came with the Delaware team. Yep, for sure.
Man.
Yep. And then the suburban team, with my big bro Harry Allen, Derek Perry, and them from up Norristown, Larry
Yep.
Mayo from
What will
Upper
always come
Merritt.
down.
That's right. That's
Mm-hmm.
right. That's
Cats from
right.
Chester.
That's
All
right.
that.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's right.
Down the free. It was like real talk. We saw it as a warm up for the Hill League.
Exactly. No doubt.
Because as soon as that little tournament was over, probably like about maybe 2 weeks after that, that's when the Hill's starting up in the spring and going into the summer and stuff.
Did you play? You played which Hill team? We was like with the Sunny Hill seniors, juniors,
and I played with both.
Okay,
I played with both.
Got you. All right. Also, so now let's talk about the McDonald's All-American game. Tell me where you were when you first realized you were, selected to play in the game, and then take me through that week of the McDonald's game, man.
I was at the crib.
Okay.
I was at the crib, and I had got some mail. Well, actually, no, I take it back. I'm sorry. I was at Gratz.
Okay.
Because the mail had came to Gratz. Mr. L had told me the whole thing about the McDonald's game because I ain't know nothing about it. Like real talk. I was ignorant to a lot of these all-star games and things growing up because, again, as I mentioned, I didn't play basketball. I was more into track, and I was in a gym. I wasn't doing all this other stuff. I'm in a gym. So
and then there was no ESPN. Sports Center, no social
not
media.
Not covering high school ball.
Exactly, not covering high school. Exactly, yeah.
So
yep.
Just growing up with that. So when he told me it's a prestigious all-star game, I'm like, oh. And so I end up going.
Yeah.
And I went down there. It was me, my mom, and my godmother. And it was in Memphis. And went down there, and again going against some of the other best kids in the country. And so now everybody's talking about this matchup for the week in practice, on the court, but off of the court, it was definitely a learning experience. Went to the Lorraine Hotel Museum for the first time. Then I've been there multiple times after. And then for those who don't know, the Lorraine Motel is where Dr. King was assassinated. So they turned that hotel into a museum, and it's actually dope and very, very worth learning. So if you ever in Memphis, you should try to check that out. And they had the whole thing on Beale Street celebrating the whole McDonald's game. So when I first heard of it, I'm like, all right, shit. That's when I was eating McDonald's. I'm like, shit, we get to get some burgers. I eat burgers all day. I get McDonald's all day. Man.
No doubt.
Well, he's like, no, fool. He's like, no, it's a game. They're gonna do other things, and it was a nice learning experience, man. And I think that's when they had first built the pyramid down there, University of Memphis.
Memphis, the pyramid. Yep.
And that's when I seen a lot of other culture outside of Philly, because down there on, what is it, Bourbon or Beale, one of the two. I get them confused with New Orleans, but it's also a popular street where you have a whole lot of street fare.
I believe Beale Street and
Beale,
Bourbon Street,
okay.
In New Orleans, yep.
And so Beale Street it's the same thing. You have a lot of outdoor eating. It's a popular affair. You have outdoor music, and it's a great experience with the barbecue and all of that. And it's lovely. It was love, man. And it was my first experience outside of Philly for that long. We was there for the week, so just seeing other people and how they were living and this and that. I wasn't too hip and keen on how the world worked then. I was just more, mind blown. I was more flabbergasted by just, wow.
Yeah, being out of Philly and seeing this culture and seeing other cities. Yeah, for sure.
Everything. So it was love, and ended up playing the game. And believe it or not, to this day, I hold the record. I got kicked out the McDonald's game.
Wait, hold up, time out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No, man. You ain't get kicked out the Mickey D's game, what happened? How you get kicked out the McDonald's game, man?
We were going at it, me and the big kid, Darnell Robinson.
Darnell Robinson, Arkansas. Yeah, big Darnell, yep.
So we were going at it, and he shot me an elbow.
Okay.
So I shot him an elbow back.
That's right.
But of course, they always see the retaliation.
They saw yours. They saw the retaliation.
So when I got ejected, I was like, cool. I didn't want to be down this bitch anyway. So, I was just, but ended up sitting in the back.
Yeah.
you know, all of that stuff. But yeah, I got to
Oh,
this day. You know, I haven't watched too many McDonald's games since then,
yeah,
but
they've
to this day,
changed the culture.
I think I still hold that record of getting
Right.
kicked out on the biggest All-American high school game. Cause
So before you got kicked out of the game, did you get a chance? Did you get a chance to get some rec in? Like, did you have some highlights and you know what I mean?
no, not really, cause I really didn't want to be there. You
Oh,
know,
okay. So your
I knew
mind, you
who I
really wasn't
was.
into it. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
got you.
I knew who I was. I was comfortable with myself. I
I
knew
understand.
that if my team played your team, we bust y'all ass.
Yeah,
So y'all can have this right here.
pretty
This don't
much.
mean nothing to me, man.
I got you.
So I didn't
So,
want to be there.
all right, one more high school memory. Somebody mentioned something else. Simon Gratz versus Oak Hill Academy. Talk about that. Yeah, talk about
Ooh,
it. Talk about it.
that was a heavyweight game right there, going back and forth. Oak Hill had they had my brother Corey Alexander, Junior Burrows. That's my brother too. Ben Davis. He was the 5-star All-American on that team at the time. About 6'9". Good game. He was a good power forward, could shoot, put it on the floor a little bit. But it was a heavyweight game, and it was kind of I didn't know before the game that it was a little bit personal with Mr. L between him and Steve Smith, the coach for Oak Hill.
Wow. So y'all didn't
Because
know what y'all was really walking into.
no, I didn't. Because
Like the underbelly of the game, the history behind. Yeah,
the whole history. I'm just thinking like, all right, they're a popular team in the country. We a popular team. All right, you know it's going to be more headbang. But what happened was Steve Smith, before I got to Gratz, some years before I got there, he backdoored Mr. L and went to talk to one of Mr. L's guys, and the guy ended up transferring down to Oak Hill from Gratz. So Mr. L never really got along with him too good after that. But I didn't know that. And
you talking about
that was
Shorter?
a great game.
Brian Shorter.
Yep, B Shorter.
The legend, B Shorter.
I really want to mention the name too much, but my man B Shorter, another Gratz legend. And you know what I'm saying, I am repping my boys tonight too, just to let y'all know.
That's right.
But that whole thing right there, it was a heavyweight game going back and forth. We were at the Florida shootout down in Kissimmee, Kissimmee, Florida. And it was a great game. We ended up losing, I think by like 6 or 7 points. But man, it was a hell of a game. And you know, it was a game that I loved. Why? Because it was playing against other big competition. And that's what I enjoyed. That's what I thrived off of.
No doubt. I got a question here from my man, Zane Shaw, Chester High legend. His brother, Jamar Solo Shaw, said Rasheed, if he remembers coming to Chester High in '92, it was a packed house, and he blocked at least 11 shots. He said y'all played. He said they played y'all in '93 as well. You remember that, blocking like 11 shots on the Chester?
Yeah, I remember. They was rowdy. I loved it though. The gym was packed.
That's right.
Packed. Again, they down on our neck. We sitting right there on the bench. They down our necks. You barely could hear Mr. L in the timeout. They all screaming, "Oh, that ain't gonna work. You trash!" And playing that game. All right, well, I know how to get this gym quiet. No, I do remember that game.
Yeah,
that was my first time playing up in Chester as far as organized. Yeah,
got you.
So I definitely love that.
Hey, we got to shout out some legends, man. We have a lot of legends watching. We got the legend Kenny Anderson. KA is watching, man.
My man Knuckles, that's my
man. Yeah, we got Mr. Chibbs watching. We got Mr. Chibbs in the building. That's what's up, man. Hey, tell me about let's talk about your college recruit. All right, first, put it in perspective, man. You know, nowadays on social media, these kids get these offers and that's where they show it. You see a kid's Instagram. I like to make an announcement. I received my 80th offer from the University of such and such. You know what I'm saying? They do all that. But talk about the recruitment, how it was back then. They don't know nothing about the sneaker boxes. You know what I'm saying? The sneaker boxes full of letters. You know what I'm saying? The letters, the box of letters that would possibly be waiting for you in Mr. L's office. Talk about the letters and the sneaker boxes and the recruitment, man. Talk about that, man.
Man, it was all overwhelming experience. Because again, going to Gratz, I'm just playing ball. I'm not thinking about the outside world. And pretty much the only basketball leagues that I watched was Big Five and Big East.
Got you.
watching that was all I cared about. And so when I got my first letter from Georgetown,
that was your first letter.
Well, not my very first, but
when
I'm
you got
saying
your
the
first
first
one
one I
from,
remember.
because that's what you watch. I got you. The most impactful letter, yeah.
I was like, man, this Big John right here.
Home of the bigs. Home of the bigs.
I'm like, this Big John right here.
That's right. That's
you know
right.
What I'm saying? But even though I have received letters from the late, great Coach Chaney, at the time, Rolly Massimino was coaching Villanova. We had Speedy Morris at LaSalle. So to get letters from them, of course, was great too. But it was a little different because I saw these gentlemen a lot throughout the summer. And being up on a campus and playing pickup games and stuff. But I never had a chance to see or meet John Thompson. And like I said, to get my first letter from him, it was awesome. But that whole recruitment process, it didn't really go down for me until the second half of my senior year.
Okay.
But I had letters from everywhere, from D1s, D2, D3, JUCO, NAIA. I could pretty much use them letters for wallpaper, and I could wallpaper a house.
Wow, that's
like every room from basement to the attic. I can do it, and I could do it however you want, either by conference, either by school, by coach, whatever. And it was like, man, just to see all these coaches, from UCLA, Arizona State, I'm getting all these letters. And, Mr. L told me about it. But again, I'm still naive to the fact I'm thinking of Gratz city championships. That's all I'm thinking.
That's all that mattered. That's all that mattered.
And truth be told, I wasn't even really thinking of going to play ball in college, because why? My mom didn't go to college, and neither did my older brothers. So in my intermediate family, it was nothing I saw. So it was just going to be, I guess, repetitive learning with me graduating high school and going to get a 9 to 5, help out my mom, give her part of my check, and just live from there. But Mr. L was like, nah. He's like, you getting the fuck out of here, and you gonna go somewhere. And ended up, I was, my Final Four was North Carolina, Temple, Villanova, and Georgetown.
Okay.
And he was like, you going somewhere. And boom. So I chose those 4, and had frequent contact with those coaches. My mom, of course, administration.
That's right. That's right.
and she was talking back and forth with them as well. And I ended up picking North Carolina, and man, did it hurt John Thompson's heart. Rest in peace, big fella. Man, did it hurt his heart.
Oh man.
And Coach Chaney. I was like, real talk, I was actually nervous to tell Coach Chaney I wasn't coming to Temple.
Wow.
Because I told him face to face, and I was actually nervous. Like that was my dad, and I got in trouble. Like bad trouble. Like, Coach.
Oh man.
And I was like, oh man, broke down. But ended up going down in Carolina with
so before you talk about Carolina, I heard a rumor. I'm not sure if it. I think when I interviewed Alvin Williams, were you possibly did y'all possibly talk about going to Nova, and then what happened with that, man? You was possibly going to be at Nova.
That's Ty's fault. That's Ty's fault.
It's our own week. Talk about it, man.
I'm putting that on Ty Weeks. That's his fault.
So what happened?
It was supposed to have been myself, Alvin Williams, Ty Weeks, and Jason Lawson.
Oh my gosh! Are you serious?
We all was supposed to be going to Nova. So
wow, dog.
Let me see. Al signed. Boom. So he's like, all right. And then after Al signed, like we all had took a visit up there and everything.
Yeah.
Right? And then when Al signed, we was like, all right. Took a visit. Went up there. I was like, it's nice. And I was really thinking about going there. Then at the time growing up, Tyrone Weeks, my best friend, and that was my workout partner. Him and I were doing everything, weight room and Gustine, all that. So we spent the same amount of time in the gym. And when he ended up out of nowhere signing with UMass, I was like, okay, that's my exit. I'm going.
Oh my God.
I could see my man Al face standing there holding the bag like, damn.
Oh, Y'all left us hanging. Left me hanging.
Yo, oh man.
Oh man. Well, at least Jay Lawson, you know what I mean, still held it down.
Jay Law ended up still signing there too. But he's like, damn, dog, what we supposed to do?
It was supposed to be us. It was supposed to be
CMB.
We all we got. CMB, we all we got. That's right.
For sure.
Oh man. See? And then so now talk about how could you resist? You know, not like the tradition of the tradition. I mean, Hakeem Olajuwon, Patrick Ewing. How could you resist, man, not choosing Georgetown, man?
Hey. Only reason I didn't is because at the time they didn't have a guard.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense.
Let me see. I think he was a senior at Georgetown when I was a senior at Gratz. The kid, I want to say Joey Browner, I think was his name. I can't remember 100%, but we wouldn't have had no guards.
I understand.
And I'm like, damn, I ain't that type of big man where I'm snatching the board and
running with
pushing
it.
it up. You know, I ain't like that. And then who would have known my sophomore year that AI would have been coming? You know what I'm saying? Because he was on he was off of the basketball radar. He was on the football radar, you know, quarterback, wide out, cornerback, safety, all that. So I was like, no, I can't go there. I need a guard. For me to show my talents and to be able to show what I can do, I need a guard. And North Carolina had just ended up winning the championship. They had my man D. Phelps. He was coming back for his senior year. I was like, oh, bet. All right, I got my guard.
Okay.
And ended up, of course, going to Carolina with my other homie, Jeff McGinnis, Touche.
Yes,
so I was like, all right, that's another big guard I got. So I'm like, all right, that's
gonna
a
work.
safe bet as far as
and then as far as you coming from Gratz, having great guards that you played
always
with,
playing with big guards, y'all.
Yeah, for sure.
Van Austin played with him. Played with Terrell Stokes, again Contrail. So I always played with big guards at Gratz, and I loved it. So I was used to that. The first time I ever played with a small guard was Damon Stoudemire.
Gotcha.
I've always been used to big guards, and that's what Carolina had.
No doubt. Hey, just one quick correction. Hakeem Olajuwon, I know that he played at Houston. I meant to say Mutombo. Patrick Ewing, Mutombo. The lineage of
good.
Georgetown.
I know what you meant, good
big
brother.
Men. Yeah. So North Carolina. So you wind up, linking up with McGinnis and Stackhouse, man. Talk about the and you were only there for 1 year, right?
No, I was there for 2.
Oh, 2 years. Okay.
I was there for 2.
So talk about your North Carolina experience. The first thing I want you to talk about, though, is take me back to your first game, the day before your first game or the day of the first game. Do you remember the jitters? Do you remember what was going through your mind? And then talk about what it was like even coming out the tunnel the first time.
I can't remember who we played, but yeah, for sure the jitters were there. The one thing that I distinctly remember, and it's like clockwork to this day, was the popcorn.
Okay.
Smelling that popcorn.
Okay.
At Gratz, we ain't had no damn concession stands. We ain't had no popcorn. Let you bring that shit in there yourself. So just the smell of that popcorn.
Yeah.
And then being in the tunnel, we jumping around, giving the speeches and this and that. And when we run out and they had a band, but you hearing the horns.
Yeah.
I'm like, what in the fuck
did I get into?
I'm just in awe, like.
Yeah, taking it all in, yeah.
It's like I ran into the ocean. All you see is a sea of blue, light blue. I'm like.
And it's like sensory overload, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You got the cheerleaders there and you got the band. And I'm like, man, all right, so this is, like, I've always seen it from the stands. I've been to a lot of college games growing up. I've seen it from the stands, but to be on the floor.
Yeah. Wow. Right, this is different.
Yeah, and I was nervous for sure.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. I didn't get much time, of course, because I'm the third or fourth big man. Everybody that was in front of me was returning from the national championship team, except George Lynch, as far as the bigs go.
And this wasn't the era of the one and dones. Guys were like juniors. No. They were seniors. You know what I'm saying? Seniors. They were grown men. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So you were
for
behind,
sure.
you had to earn your way.
And
Yeah.
I had to, earn my way, even though I did good in practice and all of that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. But Coach Smith had that whole seniority thing. Cool. I'm with it. I came from a program that had the whole seniority
So you understood that
leadership.
language well.
Yeah.
So you understood that language. Yeah, yeah. So take us through some of the moments that people remember from YouTube now, or when they watch the games. Either like talk about let's start out with the game where you and Stackhouse just dunked out Duke, man. Y'all at their place, y'all dunked them out. You had like 9 dunks. Just talk about that game with you and Stack, man. Just dunking them all out the building, man.
Hey, beloved, that was a hype ass game right there.
Yes.
And the referees knew they ain't have a chance in beating us.
Yes.
So they had to keep it close. They had to keep
Uh-huh.
it close. But it was a
Mm-hmm.
great game though. But
Mm-hmm.
I knew none of they bigs could fuck with me. I knew none of they wings could fuck with Stack. We just had a better team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but they were a good team as well. I'm not knocking them or disrespecting Duke, but they had a good team as well. But shit. what my man saying the wire? No, Duke ain't won none. I'm undefeated against Duke.
Oh wow, word! I didn't know that.
I ain't never lose against Duke at Chapel Hill or in little ass Cameron.
Wow.
They don't like to see. They don't like. Nobody likes to talk Carolina Duke with me.
Mm-hmm.
You can't.
Mm-hmm.
Bust their ass. That's of course the best collegiate basketball rivalry.
Yeah, for sure.
Even though we're only like about 6-7 miles apart.
Yeah.
And it was lovely though, man. Just that whole atmosphere of that game. Like you could cut the tension with a knife.
I can only imagine.
That's how thick it was, man. And the leading up to that prior, all of the shit talking. Not only again, we didn't have Instagram and all that back then.
Exactly.
So
yep.
we did personal face-to-face shit talking. Yeah. I mean, we're gonna bust y'all ass Saturday. You could be at a party or whatever. Like, wait till Saturday.
That's right. That's right.
Like, yeah,
that's
we're gonna
right.
bust y'all that. And man, it was lovely. It was fun. But again, it was all in that, camaraderie.
Competitive, yeah.
Yeah.
What is some of your most some of your biggest games, some of your most memorable experiences in North Carolina?
I definitely would say I enjoyed my time down here off the court.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I had a chance to meet a lot of great people. Again, seeing life different up there in the city, where we at. Hey, fast cars, fast life, everything's all in motion. But came down here and going to some small towns with some of my friends down here and just seeing life slowed down.
Gotcha.
Ain't nobody walking fast. Ain't nobody in a rush to get nowhere. You don't hear no horns honking.
Yeah.
It's just like
slow motion. Yeah.
And when I first got down here, real talk, for about 3 months, I really didn't like it because it was too quiet.
I got you.
It was too quiet. I'm used to hearing some type of city sounds, the sirens, gunshots, people, cars, whatever. I'm used to hearing something. It was quiet hearing crickets. I'm like, man, something ain't right.
Yeah, something.
I'm like, what's going on out here?
Feeling uneasy, yeah.
Looking out the window like somebody looking for me or something. But ended up getting used to it, and it just became relaxing.
Gotcha.
But I've always loved it down here, man. I actually live down in North Carolina now.
Gotcha.
I'm about maybe 3-4 miles from the school. I'm in Durham, 3-4 miles from the school. So
gotcha.
I love
That's
it,
cool.
Man.
That's cool. People want to hear a Dean Smith memory or something funny or something interesting about Dean Smith.
A Dean Smith quickie. Okay. So here it is in practice, right? So Coach Smith, he's not the type of guy where it's a one pass and shot.
Okay.
Right? He don't care if you open, especially with me being a freshman. What? So when we in practice and the ball gets swung to me, I was supposed to catch, go with a dribble handoff, but ain't nobody. So, it was just a little mid-range jump shot on the baseline. Boom, little 10-footer. Boom.
Yeah.
Knocked it down. He's like, stop. He's like, what are you doing? You supposed to, do this and do that. He's like, oh, you're a hot shot freshman. You think you could hit that shot and do this and do that? You think you could hit that 10 times? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that pissed him off a little bit. He was like, oh, well, let's see. Give him a ball. Passing the ball, first one.
Bang.
Passing the ball, second one. Third one. And as I'm about to shoot the fourth one, he's like, stop. He's like, oh, so what? You shouldn't have shot the shot anyway. I don't care if you didn't hit that. Come on, next. Sub him out, next. I was like, damn. I was like, and then
He was
right
going to have
then
the last word regardless.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But it was a lesson for me, though.
I got you.
Don't show up to coach.
No doubt. Don't show up to coach, especially in front of everybody.
At that time, I didn't see that. I didn't see that until like about 2-3 days after that happened. But I should have been like, no, coach, or yes, you're right, coach, or whatever.
Yeah.
But I said, yeah.
Yeah, of course I can hit that shot 10 times out of 10.
So that was my big lesson in that. Like, don't show up to coach. And man, Dean Smith is great, man. He was a good guy. He was a basketball god down here, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome, man. What else? Anything else? Any other? I know some things may be a little bit of a blur. Any other things you remember about Final Four or just any big games from North Carolina?
Oh man, just being down here. Period. Again, so playing for Chapel Hill, of course, that was always a pleasure. Every game was almost like a championship atmosphere because everybody wanted to beat us. You know, from the small schools all the way up to the big schools. And so my freshman year, we got put out the tournament by Boston College, first round.
Wow.
And I felt like, as a freshman, I felt that it was my fault.
Okay.
Because the ball ended up in my hands for a corner three for the last shot of the game, and I missed it.
Wow.
And that shit sat with me. It didn't sit good with me. It sat with me for a while. So what I do, I'm in the gym, and I practice that left corner shot all summer. I was like, this will never happen again. And going to the Final Four my sophomore year, we ended up losing to Arkansas, but that was just the old great experience itself to actually be part of something that you always saw on TV. You know, growing up in Philly, we always saw the Final Four, hosted some regionals, so knew what the whole tournament was about. That was a great moment. And I always loved playing in this summer league down here, bro. It was a summer league at St. Aug University.
No doubt.
Where you had, it was like an ACC All-Star game.
Wow.
Right?
Wow. Somebody else I talked to, Stackhouse. Stack talked about that. Stack talked about it. Stackhouse talked about it for sure.
Hey, that was playing in a little ass gym like up there in Conshohocken. And cats getting it on. You know, it's like I said, and now we playing for different teams. So I might be playing with dude from Duke, another cat from NC State.
Wow.
You know, another cat that's a local cat who never got a shot, but the ball.
Played
with a lot of dudes like that down there.
Imagine. I know that joint was crazy, man.
Dominique Stevens. Dominique Stevens played down there. Kurt Reed, my old heads, they played in this summer league with me too. Stack, a lot of Carolina guys, you know, guys from just the whole area. And the summer league was bananas, bro. It was bananas. The gym was small, so you had to get there early. Yeah. And then after the games and stuff, of course, you had that camaraderie, guys, barbecue, pull the little grills out, drink some beers, you know, talk shit before we head back to campus and before they go back home. So it was love, man. I always liked it down here. I always was treated good and felt good.
That's what's up, man. Take us back to NBA draft night. And then prior to, like, did you have an agent, you know what I'm saying, who was helping you to make decisions, this and that? But then ultimately land us like NBA draft night, where you were, what you had on, who was around you, and emotionally, like, just kind of close your eyes and just kind of take us back through that experience, man. Because I can only imagine reflecting back on your life, thinking about Philly, thinking about Gratz, Mr. L, and then realizing, like, wow, like I'm here right now. This is real. But take us back through that day, man.
First time I've ever been in Toronto. That's where my draft was at. That's the first year the Raptors and the Vancouver Grizzlies, before they became Memphis, young fellas. They were the Vancouver Grizzlies. So this is their inaugural season. So they had the draft in Toronto.
And
So
prior to
that
that,
itself,
it was at the Garden, but now
yeah,
they
it was
moved it
always
up
at the
there.
Garden.
Yeah.
So that in itself was like, man, I'm first time in Canada. I'm like, damn, this is nice up here, you know, blah, blah, blah. And getting ready, you know, putting my suit on, getting dressed, just wondering with a million things going through my mind, who am I going to be playing for? Where am I going? When I got to leave? What I got to do? This and that.
Yeah.
So all these things going through my mind. So get to the green room, you know, of course, you giving pounds and hugs to everybody. Boom, you seeing a lot of guys, you know, their parents. And, you know, of course, the league, they set it out for you. They got the little buffet and everything, you know what I mean? So everybody was eating good. And then when they called Stack name, I was like, yeah, you know, I was happy for my brother. I was like, yeah. And he was going to Philly too. I was like, yo, I was like, bet. So I was like, I'm gonna make sure I introduce him to all my homies and this and that. He's gonna be there. And then when they called my name next for Washington, oh, but look, I said, wait, I'm gonna be playing with Chris Webber, Juwan Howard, and Robert Pack, because Pac-Man at the time was one of the top explosive guards in the league. Would jump out the gym, dunk champ, all that.
That's
so
right.
I'm like, word. So I'm hyped and went up there, did the whole little traditional thing, you know, shook his hand, took a picture, boom, boom, boom. Won the back, did the interview. So then after the draft was over, it was Stack, Damon Stoudemire, myself, I think it was two more cats. We're leaving out of the arena, walking back to the hotel. So we're walking through the parking lot. And I just remember seeing this one view because the way that Toronto's arena was set up, it wasn't far from the water.
Okay.
So I remember seeing a couple of high rises, the skyline. It was nice, and you know, you got the water in the background. And then that's when it hit me. You in the NBA?
Yeah.
I said, damn.
Wow.
I was like, yo. He's like, we almost there, fellas. We almost there. This and that. And I remember, like about 2 days later, catching a train down to DC, signing. I went to the Hard Rock. They had the little press conference in there. I remember me, Abe Poland, Webb was there, Juwan was there, Jimmy Lionel, my man JL. He was the coach then. He was there, and it was cool. You know, ended up signing. You know, my mom was crying. I had crocodile tears, and so it made it better. But I always remembered what Rick Mahorn and Charles Barkley told me, because I used to hoop with them when I was a young boy.
Okay.
I used to hoop with the Sixers when I was in high school, when I was like 15 years old. And they would beat my ass. First time I dunked on Sean Bradley.
Wow.
So they would beat my ass in there. And I remember what they said. They was like, you know, it's easy to make the NBA. Anybody with some talent can make the NBA. He said, but it's hard to stay. And that's stuck in my mind.
Gotcha.
And, you know, from day one in practice, now I'm the rookie. I got to be at the gym 9 hours earlier. But, you know, then it was to get that work in. And my coach, my big man coach, was Derek Smith, rest in peace. Louisville's great. So he was, boom, working me out rookie season. And, you know, he hit me with some reality. He said, look who's in front of you. You ain't going to get much time. So we're going to do a lot of work this year and put some work in. And when they call your number, you're going to be ready.
That's right. And
so we putting in work, boom, boom, boom. And then unfortunately, you know, he had a stroke, passed away. And that hurt me. Wow. And, you know, I was a little mad, rebelled a little bit with the organization, but it wasn't too much that I could do because it was, you know, the Most High. It was his plan.
That's right.
So then I ended up getting traded. And I was bitter. I remember being on 22nd Street, my man owned the barbershop. I remember being on 22nd Street. I just got a cut. We in the back. We lifting and drinking. And boom, my cousin come in the shop. Yo, you just got traded to Portland. Like, fuck out of here, fam. Whatever.
Wow, are you serious?
Look, I didn't hear from my agent. Yeah.
Wow.
He's like, yo, I'm telling you, whatever. Like 2-3 minutes later, boom, 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 my agent calls me. Like, yo, Sheed, what's up? Blah, blah, blah. You just got traded to Portland. I was like, man, I was mad as hell. Because I was like, we just missed the playoffs that season by a game. We had a back-to-back, a home and home with Charlotte. And if we would have beat one of those 2 final games, we would have been in the playoffs. But Charlotte beat us both. So I was like, man, we got a good team.
Yeah.
You know.
Not that far from home, you know what I'm saying?
Man. And they ended up trading me, but I was like, all right, I said it's part of business.
Did you understand? You're still young. Did you understand the business side? Did you, you understood it was okay? Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I understood that bit. I knew I was expendable.
I understand.
That's when actually for a lot of people that don't know, it was some trivia for you. Juwan Howard, the coach for University of Michigan now, young fellas. Juwan Howard was the first $100 million man in the NBA. He signed a $105 million contract in '95 with the Bullets.
Wow,
so,
I didn't realize
and Webb was coming off of his big contract and was looking to re-up again. So, yeah, I'm a rookie. My little couple dollars that I was making, expendable. We'll throw that away. Trade him, get him out of here. And boom, ended up going to Portland, which, again, I'm thankful for because that's when I met my old head, my OG, rest in peace, Cliff Robinson.
Cliff Robinson, yes, rest in peace, Cliff Robinson, the legend.
And he taught me a lot, taught me a lot about the game on and off the court. Taught me a lot of things that I took for granted and knew was wrong. He showed me a different way, a different light, how to look at it. He was a great mentor, great mentor. And actually, he was the one who told me to start stepping out to shoot threes.
Okay.
And because we had a home game against the Lakers, and my skinny ass trying to guard Shaq. So after the game, I got ice on both my elbows, both my knees, and one of my ankles, and I'm just sitting in a chair like this.
In a coma.
Right? I'm like rehabbing because he boom, shoulders, this, beat me up with all that, right? All right. So Cliff says to me, he says, hey, Roscoe, let me tell you this. He said, down there in the post is like being married. And so I'm like, what you talking about? He was like, he said, you're married. He said, you don't get in every argument with your wife, do you? I said, no. I said, that's an automatic L if you think you're going to win every argument you have with your wife. He said, that's how it is with the bigs. He said, you can't be down there every night guarding Shaq, Kevin Duckworth, guys who outweigh me by minimum 85 pounds. And not only, some strong dudes. So he's like, you can't go down there and guard them every night like that. You're trying to post them up. They beating you up. They already don't call it for you. He said, so you got to start stepping out. He said, you can shoot that shit. He said, step out. He said, all that's going to do is bring them out to you. Then you could go by them either way. So I'm like, all right. So,
wow.
But back then,
right there.
Back then, that's when only like both teams combined, nobody took no more than like 10 threes. Both teams combined.
Yeah,
so,
true.
I always felt like, all right, that's a pretty good shot. If I shoot like maybe 2, no more than 3 a game, all right, cool. It's going to open things up for us. And that's what made me start shooting threes. And then I shot more of them. One year I had to play the 3. Okay. Got my ass lit up. So I had to play the 3. So the coach was like, Dunley was like, look, you a 3, shoot the 3s or whatever. So I'm like, I'd rather pass. He's like, look, just play basketball. So I was like, all right. And man, Glenn Rice lit my ass up, dog. Every time that's when he was playing with the Lakers. Every time we played them. So we played them 4 times a year plus playoffs. Every time. He had to have been averaging like about at least 35 on me. That's the only numbers that I ever gave up like that, bro. Yeah. Like
Glenn Rice.
Running me off of screens. Giving me all that wingman
coming from being a traditional, coming from being a big, and then now you stepping into all that, like getting ran.
He giving me guys. all that wing work,
the shimmy, the jab steps, Oh,
lit my ass up, bro.
So that's right. Hey, let's talk about some of your most memorable NBA, experiences. You know, how you got to, you know, the Pistons, you know, the times you guys had there, winning your championship. You talk about some of that stuff.
Man, just coming from Portland and playing with a lot of great guys in Portland, playing with guys that I grew up watching, like Mr. Chibbs, Cliff Robinson, again, Kevin Duckworth, you know, playing with those guys and learning not only the game itself, but the business side of it from each one of them. And so seeing it from the business aspect as a player, you know, that's what you have to sort of end up doing, because you have to read how management is playing. You have to read how they're drafting guys. So as my years went on in Portland, I was out there, I think, like 6.5 years, close to 7 years, something like that. So as my time went on, they first brought some young guys in like a year or two. That didn't work. So then they started with the veteran crew. And so that's when we took the Lakers to the Game 7 in the 2000 finals. With that team, myself, Bonzi, Damon, Scottie Pippen, Steve Smith, and Arvydas Sabonis. That's when we took them to that Game 7 and lost. And seeing them, like, all right, after that loss, that's when the Blazers started to revamp. That's when we drafted Zach Randolph, you know, drafted Zebo. And they wanted to get more young blood in there, and they was getting the older veterans up out of there. So I'm I'm like, all right, this ain't gonna work for me. Now they just took me from, you know, the mid-range guy as far as my years in the league to now being one of the veterans. Like, I'm like, all right, no, this ain't the right direction for me. So, you know, ended up talking with management, and
somebody said Detlef Schrempf was there with you as well, right?
Yeah, Detlef was there. He played on that team coming from Seattle, actually. He had retired for a second, and then Portland picked him up. So he played with us too, and took us to that. He helped take us to that Western Conference Finals, but just wasn't able to come on good terms with management. So I was like, look, hey, I gotta go. So I was like, all right, and ended up going to Atlanta. Playing with the Hawks for one game.
Okay, wow, one game.
Yep, one game. Played against New Jersey. That's when they had Jason Kidd, Kerry Kittles. That's when they was, you know, back and forth in the finals.
Yep.
That Jersey team. We lost. So I'm down. We down in the hotel in Miami. We just got there. Boom, checking in. Got a call from my agent.
Wow.
Hey, you just got traded to Detroit.
Wow.
I'm like, what? So I ended up, I was hanging out with my man.
It's crazy how you find out just on the whim like that. You know,
on a whim, yo. And but I'm glad this time it was from my agent.
Okay,
not my cousin.
And not at the barbershop.
Like, yeah, not at the barbershop. So I'm sitting there. It's me, Jason Terry, and my man Steve Jackson. We hit the little restaurant bar, you know, we drinking it up. We all just chilling like, damn, man, we could have been doing this. We did a whole lot of shoulda, coulda, wouldas like Brian McKnight. And then, boom, so I'm off to Detroit. And I get to Detroit. The ironic thing about that, we were just out there like about 3 weeks earlier.
Okay.
Talking big shit to them. We talking big shit. Me, Bonzi, the kid, Ruben Patterson, Zach, we talking big shit to them. And 2 weeks later, same cats I'm talking shit to. Now
you out there with them.
So I'm like, you know, get in the locker room. So I already knew Darvin Ham. Like I knew D-Ham I was introduced to him through my man Jeff McGinnis when I was in Portland. Gotcha. So Darvin Ham was already playing with the Pistons. So I knew him. He was, boom, cool, everything. So he took me through the locker room, introduced me to everybody. And I was like, hey, y'all know that a couple weeks ago, that wasn't nothing personal or nothing like that. He was like, oh, no, I mean, you know how it is with these games. I'm like, all right, bet.
That's right.
It was hilarious. And once we got a couple games under our belt, man, and I was like, yo, this could be special. Like, we could be a special team. Now, when I said that to myself, I wasn't thinking as in a championship that year.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? I
And
was like,
you won a championship your first year with them. That was your first year, right? And you won a championship, correct? Or no?
yeah.
Your
I
very
won a
first year,
championship
yeah.
my first year with them.
Yeah.
So, but when I first got there, like I knew we were special, but I was like, I didn't know if we could be win that championship for that year. So, you know, just working and playing with those guys, man, and instantly like that, it ended up being a brotherhood bond. We became a family.
So that was you, Chauncey Billups, Tayshaun Prince, Ben Wallace,
Rip Hamilton, Eldon Campbell, Darvin Ham, Lindsey Hunter, Mike Jones, Darko
Milicic, yeah.
Mehmet Okor, and Trayvon Folks. So
and the coach, and tell the people who the coach was.
Oh yeah, the pound for pound, LB, Larry Brown.
Larry Brown,
one of the best coaches in the game.
That's right,
no doubt.
So, what was your role? What role did you walk into with this team?
For me, in the beginning, I would have to say the loudspeaker.
Got you.
I was the loudspeaker. I was the shit talker, you know.
I got you.
And not saying that those guys didn't do that, but I'm putting everything on Front Street. They think it, I'm saying it.
I got you.
And just our whole persona and how it was, it's like they weren't shit talkers out there. So if they in a groove and they getting it in, boom, 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 they might say a couple words. But me, no. If they in the groove, I'm killing the other guy. Oh man, y'all better do something. Go back and forth. So we ended up getting that bond, man, and I knew we could do it. I knew we could win it all when we set this NBA record of, I think it was like 6 or 7 games in a row where we held teams under 70 points.
Wow, that's major.
And this is during the NBA era where you had a lot of scoring guards. Of course, you had Kobe out there. You had the AIs. And even though he wasn't a scorer that much, he was a great facilitator. You had Jason Kidd. You had the Steve Nashes. A lot of guys who could score, a lot of high-scoring teams. We held them to under 70 points.
Wow.
And that NBA record still stands to this day. I don't think that's going to be broken. Especially the way they play and shoot now.
Shoot threes and everything, yeah, for sure. So Detroit, you guys, it's something. I was on YouTube earlier, and I saw like a couple like interviews with you and like in the media, and you like with this confidence. They had a name for it, like Rasheed or Sheed something, where you would actually not predicting, but like with this confidence, like no, we gonna win this, we gonna win this game, and then like then they show your teammates Billups, and I'm like, look, Sheed say it, we back him up, you know what I'm saying? But you were the mouthpiece, and you kind of like when media was in your face. You said what you said, and then y'all backed it up.
Yeah, it was again, I'm that loudspeaker. So that was the Indiana series. They had a great team. Again, my brother Steve Jackson was there. My young fella, Jermaine O'Neal.
Yeah,
that's my rookie.
The guaranteed. That's what it was.
Guaranteed.
The guaranteed. That's what it was.
And so we lost that first game. We felt as though on some bullshit. And everybody, the players and the coaches, that's just what we felt. You know what I'm saying? And me, I'm going to say how we feel. So when they asked me, well, this and that, I said, look, only thing I'm saying tonight, y'all put it in the front page, middle of the paper, the back of the page.
That's what I saw. Where. That's what I saw. You said that. That's exactly what I saw.
We going to win game 2. Say what y'all want. We going to win game 2. Well, how did y'all do tonight? We going to win game 2. That's all, that's all I'm saying. And
No
we
doubt.
went out there. They had my back. And we went out there. That's when Tayshaun came up with that unbelievable block. And, man, they had my back. And I'm walking off the court. Told y'all.
That's right.
And then I think that was the pivotal moment in that series.
Yeah.
And, we ended up beating Indiana. And, boom, next, we had them Lakers. And, just playing them in the finals, man, that was the NBA Hoff team. David Stern wanted them to win it. Yeah. Because you had the great Gary Payton on there. You had still one of the most prolific scorers in the game with Karl Malone. He was on there. And, you know, we all know Shaq was Shaq, Kobe was Kobe, you know. And
that's
they
y'all
had
played. That's y'all played in the finals.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep. And they Derek Fisher. You know, they had a great supporting cast. And going into that finals, like building up to it, we were so confident. We was damn near arrogant.
Yeah.
But it was just in our circle. You know, we didn't go out and say it in the papers and all this and that. So here it is, finals, game one. Nobody's giving it a chance. As you read the papers and ESPN and all the other, you know, media outlets with basketball, nobody's giving them Pistons a chance except the motherfuckers in Detroit and the people in that locker room. So game one, we come out, punch them in the mouth. Boom. Steal game one. Oh, now the Pistons are for real. Like, oh, okay. Game two come out. Lil Bean, boom, hits a big shot for them to lift the Lakers up, and they win game two. So now it's 1-1. So we like, all right, great game. You know, Kobe hit a great shot. You can't bitch or complain about that. So we on a plane. So you got some guys playing cards, some guys watching movies, guys talking shit or whatever. So then damn near like unison, we always like, yo, y'all know we can't go back there.
That's right.
Because if we go back to LA, we know what the league gonna do. They definitely going to get this joint on them. Everybody was like, yeah, bet. So we all had agreed on that, man. And then we went out there, that game 3, that game 4, that game 5. Oh, it was a wrap.
I know, that's right.
We was on such high energy, man. It was a wrap. Man, shit. The city, it was wild, man. It was wild. It was like actually seeing it. So, of course, when the Sixers won in '83, you know, we all happy. Yeah. And, you know, you seen the parade on Channel 6 and everything. Boom, boom, boom. It's like, all right, surreal. So growing up, watching different sports, you seeing all these parades. You know, you seeing Super Bowl parades. You're seeing hockey parades and baseball, all this. I wonder what that feel like.
Yeah.
We in this parade, good brother. It's over 2 million people.
Wow.
The main street in Detroit that we rode down is called Jefferson Avenue. Right? It's like Detroit's Broad Street.
Broad Street, got you. Yep.
So we riding down Jefferson Avenue, bro. It's people hanging out at condos, apartment buildings, work buildings, parking structures. Everybody, dog, just going wild, going crazy. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, just you feeling everything like, they did it. You know, we got some bottles, we got we chug-a-lugging, throwing it down. Crazy. And it was a great moment. Like, and every year since 2004, when we made it back to the final 2005 and lost to San Antonio, but just watching their celebration, it always made me think of ours. So every year, even now to this day. So with I would say except for last year, because you know, with the bubble, they didn't have the whole experience of the fans and all of that. So I would say the year before that with what Toronto, when you know Toronto's fans were integrated with the championship and this and that. So having that, man, it's like damn. Like it's definitely a surreal moment. And
hey, my man Rich Boatnight from Norristown. Shout out Norristown. He said, where's the belt?
I got the belt in the office.
No doubt.
Still there.
No doubt.
That's not good. That's always going to be a piece of that history. Even though on the belt it does say World Wrestling Federation.
It's all good. It's all good.
But we know what it stands for. That's
right.
That was my biggest reasoning in getting those belts. You know, I just got our names on them and everything, but it was different, man. It was different. You know, I'm like, man, I'm tired. Like, don't get me wrong, the rings are nice, but I'm like, man, I'm just tired of rings, man. Let's do something different. Let's stand the fuck out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, got something. So I ended up ordering them Jones, right?
Got some wrestling belts.
So I got them. Boom. I was hyped as hell when they came out. I was like,
nice big gold joints. Yeah.
So I had them for about 3 days before the first game of the season. And so I told the team security, the day of the game, I'm coming in. I'm like, yo, I need your help. I said, I need you to do me a favor. Take these and go put them in the training room. So there was a little area where I knew cats wouldn't
Wasn't
fuck
going
with.
be
So,
at, yeah.
yeah, go put them in there for me. All right, bet. So go through our routine. You know, guys go out separately before the game and shoot and all that. So when we come back in and go over the game plan, you know, Larry Brown like, all right, you know, we got a double here. Make sure we block out, blah, blah, blah. We bring it in, go Pistons or whatever, right? So I'm like, hey, I got something for y'all. I said, before we go out there, I said, I got something. I said, it's to show what we are. And I was like, hey, told the team security, I was like, yo, go get them boxes for me. One got them boxes, man. And when I pulled out that first belt, Caps was going crazy. So I, you know, handed everybody a belt, right? And then Ben Wallace was like, man, we should wear these Jones out there. We should wear these out there. Everybody was like, all right, fuck it. So
yeah,
we never usually warm up with our team jacket. It's like you got the jacket, then the shooting shirt, then, you know, the T-shirt, and then your uniform. So
yeah,
we never really warmed up with the shooting jackets, right? So we was like, all right, this is what we gonna do. Everybody put their belts on real tight. So boom, we had the shooting jackets on. So we all ran out there and shit. Everybody, we hitting layups and everything. So
with the wrestling belts on.
With the belts on, right? So then, we was like, cause Ben was the captain. So he's like, yo, like whenever you ready. He's like, all right. So he's like, let's do it. And everybody snapped their jackets on, and everybody seen the belts. They was like, taking pictures, like, So we out there like, yeah, just warming up with the belts and shit.
That's
like,
hot,
yeah,
man. That's legendary,
man.
Man, what? That's legendary right there,
man,
dog.
Forever. I'm forever remember that night.
Legendary, man. That's dope, man. Tell me, like, real quick, tell me about your passion for the game in relation to the technical fouls. You know what I'm saying? Like your passion for the game. Like I loved your passion for the game. I loved your passion for the game. In association with the technical fouls. And do you, when you reflect back on it, do you think that, you know, like some of the, you know, like 100% was you riding with the text that you got? Were they legit or were they BS? You know what I'm saying? Or just, you know, where was your mindset around the text and everything?
Well, I would say early on in my NBA career, for the most part, I did get a lot of technical fouls.
I'm sorry. What I was about to mention was, do you regret, are there any of the texts that you regret, or are you totally agree with 100% of them?
Right. No. I'll tell you. So early on in my career, a lot of the texts that I got, I would say I deserved, because I'm cussing at the ref.
Gotcha.
Or, you know, calling them a motherfucker and fuck you and all of this, middle fingers, whatever. So
gotcha.
A lot of the texts I got early on in my career, I did deserve. So
I got you.
About the middle of my career, again, talking with Cliff, that's when it flipped to coming at them strategically.
I understand.
So now I'm being sarcastic with shit I say. That's making you think, oh, you still gonna give me the tech, but it's gonna make you think. And as it got later on in my career, it was just something for them to do. Like you even had refs coming in here who didn't know me, never knew nothing about me. Now they giving me a tech. Like,
just jumping on the bandwagon.
You just doing it because that's what dumbass over here told you.
Trying to get famous.
Come on, man. So with some of the texts again, I deserve. I deserve, and some I didn't. I'll say that.
Where do you rank that? I watched it today. That stare down tech, the one when you you just stared at my man. You was looking at him and he teed you up just for stare. Talk about that stare down tech and where you would rank that one as far as. You know
we playing the Lakers. You know, we in a heated game with them going back and forth. So we know L.A., Kobe, Shaq. You know, got all the stars. We know what's happening for real. They always on TV. They on NBC every weekend, no matter if it's Saturday or Sunday afternoon. We know what it is. Portland, we was a small market. We were the only professional team in town. It wasn't too much going on up there, you know, as far as the outside world being centered on Portland like it is in LA. So we knew what it really was. And my thing with that is, if these guys are so great. You know, you have guys like Mike, like Kobe, even now in today's game, like Bron and a whole lot of these great players. If these players are so great, why y'all dicky and calling all these fouls for them?
Protecting them, and like, these are
Y'all
grown
not
men. They ain't soft.
y'all not
Yeah.
even letting them work. Like here
Mm-hmm.
it is, another guy who might not have a name but could be just as good.
Mm-hmm.
You're not giving him no calls, and he's doing
Mm-hmm.
the same moves. He's working too.
That's
I'm
right.
like, and we all out here, you know, everybody is nobody can, and that's when I was really rebelling All-Star games. Like, man, nobody care about all that All-Star shit. It's
Uh-huh.
like, no, we out here, we playing too. I'm working just as hard as he working. So
Uh-huh.
call that shit for me too.
That's right.
And you
That's
know,
right.
that's when they didn't like it and like
Yeah.
me and saying that they
Yeah.
felt though I'm showing them up. No, like they don't need your help. They already
Mm-hmm.
great players. They don't need your help.
Exactly.
So all
Exactly.
you want is the damn stories when you sitting around the homies at poker night. Yeah, man. Remember
Uh-huh.
that night Michael
Uh,
Jordan scored 60? Oh man,
uh-huh.
I ref that game. He scored points 40 through 52 because of me. And you
Uh-huh.
know, that's all the hell they want. And
Yeah.
they see the athlete being bigger than the program. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why I always had beef with refs and techs. So
Mm-hmm.
with this game, I knew we all knew Sunday afternoon game, they want the Lakers to do this thing. So the cat,
Uh-huh.
we down one end getting beat the fuck up. We down the
Mm-hmm.
other end breathing on them is foul. So it
Mm-hmm.
was one particular ref, the one who called it on me I didn't like.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking at him. I'm like,
Just
oh,
looking at it.
I'm just looking at him like you know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all making it too obvious. That was always my thing. I said to refs, y'all make it too obvious,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so boom, he gave me the tech. So I'm like, you wouldn't have known if I was looking at you. If you wasn't looking at me, you should have been looking at the game. Because
That's
I'm
right.
looking at him during plays,
Uh-huh.
everything.
Mm-hmm.
You should be looking at the game, not at me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when he gave me that second tech. And I was like, yeah. I said, okay, I'll walk out. I know what it is. But guess what? I know you know what it is too. So I ain't no dummy. And then y'all keep fucking with me. I'm going to hire somebody to hack y'all little referee email shit. Y'all keep it up.
Yeah.
See if I'm
Yeah.
playing.
And listen, I watched I watched that video on YouTube today, and they actually have him mic'd up or something like that, and he's explaining. He's like, "Yeah, I teched him up because he was looking at me. He was trying to intimidate me, staring at me." I said, "Are you serious? I've never heard anything like that a day in my life. Like, that was 100%, 100%. You
That's
already
what
know what
that is.
time it is. You already know
Yeah.
what time it is. Hey, before we okay, so help me trying to think. All right, so I'm trying to think how I want to, because I don't want to go out of order. All right, so help me to understand how, at what point does your NBA playing career, your professional playing career, come to a close, and what was it like for you closing that chapter of your life after playing so long? You know what I'm saying? And then in your mind, at what point, what clicked for you to say, you know what, I think now's the time for me to kind of close it up.
Well, my first time was when I was playing with Boston.
Mm-hmm.
I specifically remember going into the locker room game 7 and letting guys know, like, this is my last NBA game.
Wow.
I'm retiring. And reason being, at that time in 2010, my mother had fell ill. So I'm like,
Oh.
all this basketball?
Yeah, it don't mean nothing. Yeah.
So that's when I came down to Carolina, where my mom was at, moved in with her and just helped nurse her back to
Oh,
health.
that's a blessing, man.
Me and the family. And so boom. Then 2 years later, I get a call from Mike Woodson. He was my assistant coach for when we won it in Detroit. And now he
Uh-huh.
was coaching with the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
So at first he was hitting me up like, man, what you doing? I want you to come up and, help work my guys out. So I'm like, all right, boom, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
So go up there. I'm working them out a little bit. Next thing I know, these cats offer me a contract.
Wow.
So I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
1 year league minimum. All right, that's cool. I ain't tripping.
Uh-huh.
And that was the last year the Knicks made the playoffs.
Okay.
And that was the last year they won over 50 games. So I made the playoffs with every team I played with except for the Hawks because it's only one game.
Yeah.
And except my rookie season,
Mm-hmm.
which I missed by a game. But every year I was in Portland, made the
Mm-hmm.
playoffs. Every year I
Mm-hmm.
was in Detroit, made the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Boston made the playoffs. New York made the playoffs.
Gotcha.
So when I knew it was time to hang it up, man, it was just that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't necessarily say the game was passing me by or nothing like that, but it was just that feeling like, all right, you know, I'm pushing 40. It's time to go ahead and kick it to my second half of life. Basketball was the stepping stone, which helped set up a lot of things for after basketball that I wanted to do. So I'm like, all right, it's time to go ahead and get that started. I don't want to wait till I'm, 50, 55 years old to be like, okay, well, let's do this. Let's try this. Like, no, we're going to do this. I still, I'm still able to get up and down this court. So that's when I pretty much wanted to just training and working with high school and college kids. Some NBA teams would call me, all right, I'll work your big men out or whatever. And, I still do that to this day.
No doubt. Hey, real quick, hold that thought. Before we get into life after basketball, I want to go back real quick. Talk about Bean, man. Rest in peace, Bean. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant, man. He's one of ours, from PA. Talk about that night, and then just a cool Bean Kobe story from throughout your lifetime, basketball, anything.
Well, it was definitely a shocker to wake up to that unfortunate news. Because at first, during this age, it's like, all right, social media. Cats just trying to get some likes and some views on their shit. Like, all right, whatever. So I dismissed it. And then, like, when I first heard it, turned to the news, turned to Sports Center, nothing. Oh, man, these cats need to stop playing
fake.
like that.
That's fake.
Man,
quit playing.
whatever. Boom, 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 boom. And then when you see it come across that bottom line ticker, I was like, oh.
Wow. Yeah.
And it just made me, say my prayers, not only for him and his family, but for me and my family, because, like, I feel like if, God forbid, if I was to leave, like, everybody in my family would be hurt too, mainly my daughter as well. So I kind of sort of felt that for his family. I know his dad, I know his mom, I know his sisters. So I felt that pain. And as far as off the court, I didn't know Kobe too much. I've always encountered him on the floor. We might chit chat before the game or after the game in the tunnel or whatever. In the back waiting for the car or whatever. But I actually had a chance to sit down and kick it with Kobe. The year the All-Star game was in Vegas.
Gotcha.
At the time, we both had the same Nike rep. And my guy Nico, he's like, yo, man, why don't you come to Tao, this and that? We got a little area. So I'm like, all right, bet. So I get there, and Kobe and his wife was there.
Gotcha.
So, at the time I was married, and, we all just kicked it for that night, man. It was the six of us, and it wasn't even basketball, bro. We just talked life. Everybody was married with children like Al Bundy.
No doubt.
We just talking about life, man. And it ended up being a good evening. Nobody really bothered us, none of that picture shit. We was drunk. And it was just a great, enjoyable moment. And, rest in peace, Bean, it's still unbelievable. It's still unbelievable. But, you do have to face that reality that he is gone.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for sharing that, man. Now, talk about life after basketball and your transition into coaching and everything that you're, stay right there, life after basketball, and then how you got involved with coaching, and then now coaching high school and all that.
Well, I knew I always wanted to be around ball, even after I was done, because one of the things that I've had a lot of great basketball coaches and players tell me that make sure you pass that knowledge on.
Of course,
don't go to your grave with that, because it's too rich.
Yep.
And so I've taken that firsthand. After I retired with New York, only reason I retired with them is because I broke my foot that year.
Okay.
And I was like, damn, you would break your damn foot at the end of your career.
At the end of your career.
When you could try to make it, go out with a bang. I'm going out with a fizzle. I'm like, damn.
Going out with a boot on your leg.
Yeah. Like, so once I retired, I knew I still wanted to go into ball. So ended up, when Mo Cheeks got the Pistons job, he asked me to come aboard. So I was the big man coach with the Pistons. And So I was responsible for a young Andre Drummond and a young Greg Monroe.
Okay.
And along with Henry Bibby, who was the other veteran big man coach. It was awesome coaching, man. I had a ball. The only thing I didn't like about it was them early ass meetings that we had.
No doubt. No doubt.
But other than that, I love it. Just passing that knowledge on, just trying to just see these guys getting better, month after month, week after week. And that's the enjoyment I got out of it. That's the enjoyment I get out of it now. So after that transition of coaching with the Pistons, once Mo got fired, that's when I had left too. The new coach came in with his whole crew. And I was like, okay, so moved from Detroit back down here to Carolina, and down here doing some community work and doing community work up there in Detroit, in Flint, and just rolling along, going where our people is needed for help.
No doubt. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was about to say you're coaching high school basketball right now. Tell the people what high school you're coaching at.
Yeah, I'm for the last 2 years. This is my second season. I'm coaching at Jordan High School down here in Durham.
No doubt.
We're okay. We're okay. We're having a pretty good season. We got the conference championship game tomorrow, actually.
Oh, congrats! Let's get it. Let's go.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Let's get it, man. Let's get it.
I got a great group of kids.
All right, check it out. Check it out. It's fast forward to tomorrow. Pre-game, we in the locker room. What's the speech? Come on, give me the speech right now. Come on.
Oh no, it's basic. Y'all already know what it is. Y'all already know who we got to stop. There's 2 key people that we have to stop. Y'all already know what we got to do. Play as one team unit, and we'll come out with it. Worry about us. Don't worry about what the refs calling. Don't worry about, this fan said this or that. Worry about us. Control what you do, and just go out here and play basketball. Play smart, play hard, and have fun.
No doubt, no doubt. And what's describe your coaching style? Do you have a little bit of Coach L, cool, calm, and collective? Are you out there snapping out, or like what are you doing? What's your coaching style during the game?
Well, I would say a little. Both.
Are you animated? Both. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, for sure. That's not going nowhere. For sure, but I try. See, it's a different breakdown with it. Right now, I'm coaching the high school kids, so I would say when my calm demeanor is there, it's like Mr. L.
Gotcha.
When I'm more focused on my team, I already know the rest is shitty. And no matter if we're winning or losing, I got to focus on my guys and teaching them what to do right.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest thing when I'm out there. But then when we get these preposterous calls, it's like, that's when I get animated and everything. Like here's one I give you. Last week, I had a kid. Now, there's nobody near him. My guy is dribbling. This is how crazy it gets down here. My guy is dribbling the ball, right? So the defender steps up, and my guy makes the move. The referee blows the whistle. So we like, what happened? What's the call? He called traveling. I said, wait a minute. If it's not like he was carrying it, hand over the ball, boom, boom. He dribbled it 3 times. The guy stepped up, and he crossed him to make the move. But hand was all on top of the ball. It wasn't a carry. Like, dude, how you call travel while he's dribbling the ball?
Crazy.
I'm like, he could dribble it, and if it's a high dribble, he could take 6-7 steps.
Yeah.
As long as his hand is on top of the ball.
Exactly.
He could dribble it again. I'm like, how you call traveling? Man, some of these refs down here, they want to get to the next level.
Do you get like my man J Mac wanted to know, do you get hate from the high school refs that's trying to get to the next level off of you, or just trying to show off and they got their ref supervisor watching, they want to show off and show their stuff against you? Do you feel the hate, or is you or what?
It's actually funny. It's vice versa.
Okay.
The referees that are trying to make it to the next level, one, you could tell before the game because they're slim. They take it serious, and you can see them working.
Gotcha.
Got some fat referees down here who run from 3-point line to 3-point line. Those are the refs who want to give me a tech, and and call it just so they got a story to tell, you know, to their wife later or to the homies at the bar or whatever. But you can tell the good referees who are trying to get to that collegiate level or who might even coach, not coach, referee college locally. So you can see the difference for sure. So those are the ones I try to talk to the most.
Yeah. Do you require your kids to do a little track and field or cross country? Is that or no? You left that alone?
No, I didn't require them to do that. We have off season training, so we working throughout the year.
Yeah,
and
so it's pretty much
if my guys are natural, like I have one kid on my team. He's again a track runner, and so I'm not worried about him being in shape. And after the season, or when we're doing in season running, I'm not worried about him. So I do have a couple kids that play multiple sports, mainly football. You know, in high school, you got more kids that play football.
Got you. All right, one thing I want to get into this real quick, man, and just want to thank our audience, man, for staying with us this whole duration, man. Talk about your, and honestly, I think this is probably one of the parts of our conversation that I was most looking forward to, besides all the hoop memories, man. Talk about your community service, your philanthropy, efforts, man. Down in Flint, Michigan, with the water crisis, you and Stack out there with the social injustice, leading the people. Just talk about, your community service, man, and you being a pillar in the community for helping people and just, doing all the stuff you do, man. Talk about that, because a lot of people may not know about, that part and what's going on with you.
Well, to be honest, it all started from when I was a young boy.
Okay.
And growing up in Philly, we never had no NBA guys, NHL guys, baseball, whatever. We ain't had no professional athletes ever come to our hood, to help us out when not only my family, but a lot of other families were struggling, no matter what, lights, heat, food, whatever the case may be. So I know how it is to come from that struggle. I know how it is where the lights get shut off. You might not have no heat. You going to bed hungry. I've been through all that. So now, when I first got into the NBA, I would say the only team I didn't do community service with was with Atlanta, because I wasn't there long enough.
There that long, yeah, you weren't there that long.
But I did my community work in Washington, did my community work in Portland, holding coat drives and ornament drives, and just being in the neighborhood. And it's not even, for me, it ain't about the cameras, because I'll go into these neighborhoods without no cameras. I don't care about no likes. I don't care how many views. It ain't about that. It's about that humanitarian effort, because now I'm in a position to be able to help other people. These kids, if I can at least try to feed these kids or help clothe these kids for the winter for a couple months, or feed them for a couple weeks, yes, I know it's, and some of the things that we do as far as with our philanthropy and humanitarian efforts, I know it's like putting a Band-Aid on it, but damn, at least that Band-Aid for that time being stops that bleeding. Until you can go ahead and, get further help with that. So that's how I see it. And with the whole Flint crisis, bro, man, let me tell you.
Talk about that, man. Tell people how real that is, man.
Hey, that is real as shit. So for those who don't know what it was, the Flint River was being used by the Coca-Cola company, the Koch brothers. So, and of course, with running a factory, a high price factory like that, you got your contaminated water. So they were putting this water, the contaminations into this Flint River. So boom, Flint switched to Detroit. So the Detroit river and water was getting pumped up to Flint. So where the sickness came from was when the governor low key switched the water line from Detroit back to the Flint River. And it was still those contaminants in that water. So they coming through old ass lead-based pipes underground, everything. Some of those are cracked and all of that. So you getting all these contaminants in this water. And boom, now it's going to everybody. It's going to the schools, it's going in the hospitals, it's going to restaurants, because people got to cook. All of this, lead-based and fucked up water. So he knew about it. He knew about it. He was getting bottled water shipped up to Flint for government workers for quite some time before the story broke. And as soon as the story broke about the whole Flint crisis, I just so happened to be in Detroit. And like 2-3 days later, we was on it. Had some fam from Philly come up. I had my homies in Detroit, and we mobbed up to Flint. We going door to door, you know, passing out water, 2 or 3 cases of water. And it's like, you know, you have a lot of elderly up there in that area. So as you go to put the goods down into their home, you see cases and mounds of water. But it's like people don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Just think of your regular day. For you and everybody out there watching, just think of your regular day. When you wake up, right? Boom. First thing you do, go to the bathroom. That's water. Now, you might not be thinking like, oh, you don't really need clean water for that, but you do.
That's right.
So that's first. Then you do what? You either go and brush your teeth or take a shower.
Or shower,
Wash your face, whatever the case may be, but it still involves water. So now you can't do that, right? Then throughout the day, say, you know, no matter if you're a student at school, no matter if you're working in an office building, wherever, you know, people like to drink water, use the water, whatever.
That's right.
So now all that water messed up, right? He knew this. So here it is. You have children who died. You have our elderly who died.
That's crazy.
You had a lot of people, and here's the thing: it's not a black or a white thing. It's an everybody thing.
Affected everybody.
In this area of Flint, it's black, white, Chinese, you know, a couple Mexicans. It's in this area, and cause I've seen this because I've been door to door dropping off goods in Flint for the last 6 years.
Wow.
6. They can come up with $1 kajillion for this budget for this coronavirus shots and all of that stuff. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that's not important, but
I feel you.
How it take you can come up with that, but for this community up here, they still got fucked up water. The pipes are still in there. So now what it is, they just want this land. You know, I got my own personal opinions on why it happened, but
I understand.
Yes, the water to this day is still messed up.
Wow, that's crazy, man.
But the great thing about it though, so here's I guess here's the silver lining, and I'll say this real quick. The governor, the old governor, put a law in. He knew he fucked up. He put a law in that you can't come after him or any of his constituents that was involved with this Flint water crisis, right? As soon as the new governor got there, she cut all that shit out. She was like, no, y'all getting brought to justice on this.
I know that's right.
Every law that he wrote for them not to get in trouble, she cut all that out. She's like, no, that's right. Y'all coming up on this. Y'all not getting away. This is murder.
I know that's right. Well, salute to you, man, and salute to everybody else that's on the ground with their boots on the ground, helping out, man. And you know, when the government may fall short, you know, brothers like yourself stepping up, man, and just doing all you can to support the people, man, showing that you care, man. That's a blessing, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man. Real quick, talk about your podcast, man. Talk about the Sheed and Bond, the Let's Get Technical podcast.
Yeah,
you know, where people can check it out and all that kind of stuff, man.
Yeah, I do the podcast called Let's Get Technical with my man Bonzi Wells. We've been doing it probably about close to a year now. But Bonzi was the one who got me into it because for quite some time, at least for a year and a half, I was like, nah, I ain't doing that shit. I ain't into it. I'm too old for all of this to try to keep up with all this tech shit. So he was like, man, come on, it'll be fun, this and that. So once I got into it, I was like, all right, cool, come on, let's do it. And once I got into it, you know, it's been fun because now here it is. I'm doing what I like to do, just giving my opinion about shit, and I'm not sugarcoating nothing or anything like that. But you can find this on all social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Bonzi Sheed Tech. We have the show Let's Get Technical that comes out every Thursday. So man, we just trying to work that whole podcast lane. You know, trying to do some new things right now to build our name, to build that Let's Get Technical brand, and just do it, bro. That's what's up. Hey, shout out to my guy Chris Handles. He wanted me to mention to you. He said, yeah, Chris Handles. That's my guy. Man. That's Harrisburg, PA. Handles. That's right.
Handle said, yo, he said, yo, you got to tell She, you got to remind him that y'all was in the most legendary commercial in history.
Top one. The skirt commercial, the basketball game.
That's right.
Oh yeah, yo, that was the toughest commercial. And then they had the right dude doing the handles. I'm like, shit.
Yes.
Like, yo, that commercial was tough, yo.
Yes, it was.
Tough. I still say that's the best Nike joint.
It was nothing like it ever, man. Nothing like it ever in history.
Yeah, my man Handles. Yeah.
That's right.
That's my guy.
How do you want it's a lot of things that the people are going to remember you by. You know what I'm saying? Like as it relates to like Philly heads, NBA, college. People are going to remember you for whatever they want to remember you for. You know what I'm saying? Based off of their experience and based off of their perspective and their lens and how they experienced you in their minds. But what do you want people to remember you by? What does Rasheed want people to remember him by?
Being the person that I am. I'm gonna speak my mind. I just want people to remember that about me. And especially no matter right or wrong, I'm gonna always fight for, the just cause, to the fair treatment, on or off the court. That's what some of the things we're involved in. That's why Stack and I, that's why we do it. Mm-hmm. For all the other little bros that's coming up, all the little nephews, all the other little kids, we got to get them a chance. The same way that someone was there for us to get a chance, we have to be there for them to get a chance.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. Appreciate that. And one of the last things, then I'm gonna get to a quick little Q&A. Then we're gonna wrap it up. Let you get some shout outs and all that. Talk to the younger generation right now. Talk to the younger generation. Give them some encouragement, some keys to success. Anything you want to say to the youth or young basketball players coming up trying to make their way. Anything.
Man, stay off this social media shit and work. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of young kids out here now. They rather get this highlight on them likes and the followers and all that. Yo, no, it ain't about that. It's shit game. Because you could show $1 million move and have a food stand finish. So you could cross the dude over in your highlight and won't nobody know what happened after that.
That's right.
So, just stay with your game, repetition, get in the gym. If it seems boring to you, that's when you got to put more work in, go to that extra level. Because it's all about repetition. Go ahead and shoot for an hour. Get 15 minutes from each spot. Don't worry about, I got to get 100 makes or I made 1,000 shots today. No, just put that work in. Go 15, something simple, 15 minutes from each spot. The corner, the wings, and the top.
No doubt.
And concentrate. Just work, because again, it's easy to make the NBA. Y'all can make the NBA, but it's hard to stay there.
That's right.
When you got guys who are students of the game, it's hard to beat them.
Yeah.
And and you could be more athletic. You could have a better jump shot, be bigger, whatever. But if you're not a student of the game and someone else is, you're never gonna win that battle.
That's right. Appreciate that. Hey, well, I'm gonna get to real quick a few questions, a few Q&A. I put a little thing on social media earlier, asked people if they had any questions to send them to me, and I'd ask you, make sure I got to them. So this one first from my man James Nelson Stewart. He wanted to know who's the hardest power forward you had to guard in your prime in NBA.
All right. I know the old heads on here gonna know who this is, but for the young guys, it was a cat by the name of Terry Cummings.
Terry Cummings, yep.
He played with the Spurs. He played with mainly with the Milwaukee Bucks. But when I first came into the league, he was still playing, and he had grown man strength. You hear me? Grown man with kids strength.
Yes.
So I couldn't do nothing with him. Like, he would back me down like I wasn't even there, like I had grease on my shoes. But then it's like me trying to back a brick wall down on the other end. I couldn't do nothing with him. So I just had to use basketball sense, and he was older than me, so I just had to outrun him. But, dog, that was the toughest matchup I ever had, because for 2.5 quarters, he beat my ass. Wasn't nothing I could do with this dude.
No doubt. Carl Clenenden wants to know, who's the person that taught you the importance of keeping the ball high? And then how long did it take you to get that lesson?
I would have to say between Mr. L, a guy by the name of Tennis Young, and another guy by the name of Craig Black. Because every time that I brought the ball down, one, I get it stolen. But then the second thing, they would make me run laps. So
gotcha.
I started to have to run laps with the ball up.
Gotcha.
And it was just muscle memory.
No doubt, no doubt. Guy Stewart, who played, he was one of the guards with Bean at Lower Merion, my man Guy. He wanted to know, he said he'll never forget the day that you, Jay Lawson, Al Williams came down to Ardmore and played with Kobe down at the Shack in Ardmore.
Yo.
Just a memory, yep.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Yeah, that
memories. Memories.
Flashback.
Yeah, the Air Force Ones. You played in the high top. You know, your shoe of choice, the Nike, the high top. You know what I mean, the sneaker. Tell us, tell the people why. You know, the Air Force One. You know, the strap, whatever, became your sneaker of choice.
Well, for me, it's all about protecting your money makers. If you look at it, when you're dealing with athletes, mainly basketball players, we got what? Fucked up back, knees, or ankles, or ankle/feet, whatever you want to say. So for me, growing up, I always played in high tops because as a young boy, playing in 3/4, I would twist my ankles bad, this and that. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna stop
especially being the big, it was all about ankle support. Yeah,
exactly. And that shoe was a high top shoe, and it had the ankle support. Now, for sure, you ain't getting much support on the bottom. You know what I'm saying? On the sole of that joint, because the insole is flat as hell. And that's what everybody was like, yo, how you playing them? Well, I got orthotics. Gotcha. So I put orthotics in there, tie my shoe up. It's protecting my feet, my money makers. And that's what it was all about with the ones.
No doubt. Somebody right here wants to know, what was your favorite city to play in?
Man, I don't know. I had a few. I always liked to play in LA, of course. I always loved to play in the Garden. Growing up, being from Philly, always seeing that up there in New York. I love playing there. Of course, love playing at home in the Spectrum. In the Spectrum.
Yep.
And I would say down in Florida, no matter Orlando or Miami, both of those are pretty good areas. Anywhere, truth be told, anywhere where it's hot.
No doubt.
Anywhere where it's hot. Dallas, Arizona, anywhere where it's hot.
Got you. My man Nelson Stewart also had another memory. He said he remembers playing with you in the finals up at Hoop It Up in Franklin, Mills. Franklin Mills. He said you dunked on his boys 10 straight plays.
Yo, it was me, Al Williams, and Ty Weeks.
Yeah, he said you dunked on his homie for 10 straight plays.
Yeah, I remember that. They put us in the old head league. We was killing the high school cats. Then they put us in the grown man league, and that's when we got beat.
Oh man! Oh, we got another legend in the building, Sean Harvey. SWP, Sean Harvey,
B-boy.
Yeah, Harvey said ask Sheed about the youth games in Baltimore before high school.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's when I learned how to dance. Real talk.
Okay.
At the youth game, that. All right. So for those who don't understand what it is, the youth games is like the Olympics for high school athletes. Gotcha. And I'm talking about in all sports, basketball, except football. You got basketball, baseball, soccer, track and field, gymnastics, all of this. It's like the Olympics for high school kids. So we were down there at Towson State, and it was awesome, man. It was awesome. Again, one of the few times being away from home where we didn't have too much adult supervision, so we was able to goof off a little bit.
No doubt.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. And then that night, after the whole youth games was over, they had a big party with all of the kids from all the cities. Yeah. And that's the first time I ever danced with a girl. Before that, it was myself in the mirror. Dance with myself in the mirror. But that was the first time I ever danced with a girl at the youth games in Towson.
Big fella with the two-step.
Fucking Sean Harvey.
Sean Harvey, no doubt. Shout out to OC, Olin Chamberlain. He wanted to know, he said, when at the Sunny Hill, did you ever run into Claude Gross? And, and somebody else had said, do you have any Claude Gross memories?
Oh, yeah. man, Claude Gross was a walking infomercial.
No doubt.
If you wanted to know anything about Philly basketball history, you don't even got to ask. Just sit down and listen. Just shut up and listen. And Claude had so many stories about games because he played with a lot of Philly greats. You know, played with Wilt Chamberlain and you know the whole Gene Upshaws and the Ray Chink Scotts, and you know he played with a lot of these great guys. Not only just in the Philly area, but you know the surrounding tri-state area as well. And man, Claude Gross, as funny as he was, that big beard he had and talking all that shit. He's like, oh man, he's like, y'all some punks. Y'all think y'all doing some shit. We wish we could play with y'all now. The same way we talk about young kids.
Exactly.
Oh man, yeah, he had so many stories, man. It was always great listening.
That's what's up, man. One of my last questions from the people, my man Kyle Lewis wants to know, what do you think about the Robert Horry 3?
Which one?
Big shot Horry.
It's like, no, man, real talk. I thought I had that. I thought I had that. I know he's probably referring to the game 5 in what game 4? Game 4 or 5 in Detroit.
Okay.
Where Horry was taking the ball out and they set a couple screens and Ginobili ended up in a corner. So at the same time Horry passed it, I seen Ginobili here. So I tried to go with a quick trap or a tip or something. And he made a good pass, falling out of bounds, threw it right back to Horry, and bam, big shot Bob do with big shot Bob do.
That's right.
he knocked it, but it was a big shot, but that wasn't the worst shot that I ever felt. The worst one I ever felt was Sean Elliott. When I was with Portland, he was with San Antonio. Again, we in the Western Conference Finals. And this is the first year when the Spurs started their dynasty, and we in a heated game, and it's going back and forth. And Sean Elliott is on the right side of the court in the corner. The ball comes out to him. He literally tippy toes the sideline, catches the ball, and so when the way he caught it, I was like, oh, I got this block right here. I jump my highest. That ball nicks my finger and splashes in there. Wow. So I'm like, no, he was out of bounds, all this shit. Cameraman was on that joint, dog. He tippy-toed the side. I was like, wow. My feelings was hurt.
Yo, that's like, crazy.
I said, I can't do nothing right.
No. Oh, man. Hey, my man J Mac wants to know, did Dean Smith come to your crib the day after the UNC won the championship?
Yes, actually he did. That's real talk. That's real talk. Fuck me up. Because, you know, the night before, of course, we all watching the game. So next day, I had school. So, you know, normal day, wake up, go to school, you know, baseball practice, track practice, whatever. So I come home, and at the time, it's just me and my mom living together in a little apartment. And so, you know, I come through the door, and my mom's usually in her room, straight to the back. And I seen out the corner of my eye, I seen some figures. So, you know, I'm walking. I said, oh shit! And who's sitting in the living room? My mom, Dean Smith, and Coach Phil Ford.
Wow.
And I'm like, man, all right, okay. I'm surprised. I'm like, Coach, what are you doing here? Like, you should be celebrating somewhere. Y'all just won the national championship last night for the first time since '82. I'm like, you should be. He's like, oh, that's good. You know that. He's like, but no, we got to get right to work. He said, yeah, I celebrated for a couple of minutes. And right back at it. And from there, that was a lesson, because that taught me in the mindset too. From when I was with Detroit, we went to so many conference finals and playing till, you know, May and June. It's like, look, all right, you take a couple weeks off, right back at it.
Yeah, you can't get comfortable.
And Dean was sitting there, man. I was like, yo, fuck me up. I was like, yo.
That's crazy, man. Hey, well, that's pretty much everything that I had for you, man. You know, if you want to, you know, just one more thing. We wouldn't do it any justice if you didn't spend a few seconds shouting out Mom Dukes. Talk about Miss Jackie, man. Let everybody know who Mom Dukes is and what she means to you, to the game, and shout out Miss Jackie, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. My Dukes, that's the administration.
That's
You
right.
know what I'm saying? She was the one that always held it down for us. Not only myself, man, and you probably got a couple guys on here who can contest to it too.
Yeah, a couple players talked
You
about her,
know,
talked about Miss Jackie.
who's
Yep.
like she's a mom to them, even though guys had mothers, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but she was like a mom away from their mom too. It was all that African village. You know how the saying, it takes the African
Takes a
village to raise
village,
a
yep.
child?
Yep.
And that's how it pretty much was with all of us. You know, my mom, she was there when she could be, you know, yelling, fussing and cussing, and
Mm-hmm.
other guys' moms and parents were there when my mom couldn't be. So it was like that straight community love, man. My mom always gave out to everybody. You know,
Mm-hmm.
my friends, my brother's friends, and you know, of course, on the flip side though, my mom ain't take no shit.
I know
She ain't
that's
no
right.
pushover.
I know that's right.
But she could be a nice lady when she has to be. But
Mm-hmm.
other than that, you know, she got that Philly mentality, like, man, don't come to me with no bullshit.
I know
This
that's
and
right.
that, da, 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 da. So that's where I get the straight shooting from.
I
It's my
know that's
mom.
right.
And
I
man,
know that's
I
right.
love her to death. She down here, she just chilling. You know, taking it easy. We just trying to keep her quarantined and
Yeah,
row free.
that's right. Keep her safe. I know that's right, man. Shout out Miss Jackie, man.
Word.
Lastly, man, I mean, that's pretty much it. Oh, do you have? I collect archives. I'm the archive king. I bring the old archives back to life. Do you have any old Gratz games, any DVDs, anything sitting around, any old stuff, any old games, any summer league memories, anything like that?
Yeah, I think I gotta look in a couple of shoe boxes. I think I got a couple of DVDs in
Yeah,
there
because I'll be
somewhere.
I collect that stuff. I make copies of it and I get it on my website, on my YouTube channel, just so the
Mm.
younger generation can see some of that stuff. So we'll stay in contact. I'll be
Yeah,
in
for
contact
sure.
with
I
you, dude.
definitely look for it.
Appreciate it, man. And before we tune out, man, any last words you have, or anything you want to say? Just any shout outs, anything you want to say before we tune out?
Man, just shout out to the whole Philly fam, man. Shout out to the young boys. Y'all keep working hard, man. And just to everybody, I love you all, man. I love you all. You know, you gotta have love for everybody, even though they ain't got love for you. You know, it's all about you and then your heart and the person that you are. So I love and shout out to everybody, man.
No doubt. One last thing, one last tradition we have here on Legends Week is paying it forward. So if there's anybody that you would like to possibly see me connect with to interview, you think they'll be a good fit for this platform and this thing I got going on here at Legends Week, man, I would appreciate if you can possibly endorse somebody and possibly
Oh, for
help me to,
sure.
to get in contact with them, maybe Bonzi or just anybody. Maybe I've been trying to find Rip, Chauncey Billups, anybody, man. Anybody, anyone, brothers, a stack maybe.
For
Anybody
sure.
that's good people with you, man, to help me keep the Legends Week platform going, I greatly would appreciate it, man.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, matter of fact, I think Rip would be a good one for you because
Coatesville, stand up,
I
yeah,
know Rip definitely could share some little bean stories with you because you know
yeah,
they actually played together and
exactly,
you
yep,
know they're more the same age. I'm a little bit
hey,
older than Bean was,
uh-huh.
but I'll definitely hit Rip up.
Appreciate it. Shout out to the legend Charlie Mack. Charlie Mack in the building.
My old head Mac mode.
First out the limo. Shout out Charlie Mack. First out the limo. My OG
Yeah,
for
that's my
sure.
old head right there, no doubt.
That's
Always
right.
show me love when I go out there to LA.
That's right, man. Hey, well, again, just want to thank you so much, Sheed, for your time here on the platform Legends Week, man. Thank you
For
so much
sure.
for allowing us to give you your flowers and to pay homage. Thank you for being so transparent, being a straight shooter, man. And applaud you and all your efforts, man. What you're doing with the kids, coaching. Is the game gonna be live streamed tomorrow? Y'all got a live stream where people can watch it online, maybe, or no?
Yeah. I'll send you my cousin's Instagram name because he does live stream from his iPad.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Please send me that. I want to, I ain't gonna be doing nothing tomorrow night. I definitely want to try to check that out, support y'all, man. And once
For
this
sure.
Rona is over, once this Rona is chilling, man, I'm down there, Sheed. I need to get down there with the camera. I definitely got to come and get on a bus, plane, whatever road trip, and come down there and film one of your games, man. Once this Corona is all done with, man, I need to get down there and film your guys, man.
Yeah, for sure. Got that, and got some more community work coming up in March.
Okay,
So yeah, stay tuned for sure. We're going
definitely will.
once my basketball season is over here, then that's when I pick the community service back up. So
Mm-hmm.
we just gonna be traveling state to state.
I know that's right, man. Well, hey, God bless you, man. You know, you keep it going, man. And it's Big Star Legends Week, man. Appreciate you joining the sheet.
All day, every day, good brother. Y'all be easy.
God bless you, man. You take care.
All right.
Yep. Hey, I hope everybody enjoyed. And just like I said earlier, I put it in my story. If anybody, I got my guy, Freak Wallace, J Mac. If anybody wants to go live with me right now, send me a request. Kyle Lewis, if there's anybody that was tuned in for the duration of the interview, and you guys enjoyed it, send me a request if y'all, in position. Let's jump on right now and go live. I just want to get you guys reflections on the interview, what you guys thought about the interview. If you guys have any RASHEED WALLACE stories or memories or reflections. All right, here we go, my guy. Chief Justice.
What's up, man?
What's going on, big dog? How you feel, man? Did you enjoy tonight?
Oh, man. Yo, legendary dude, man. Two legends, man. Salute to you. Salute to Sheed, man.
Bless you, man. Appreciate it, man. What'd you enjoy about tonight? What stuck out to you?
You know, I think for a lot of guys, especially me coming in the class of 93, you know, you want to really understand kind of what that process was like.
Mm-hmm.
And his transparency is incredible. I mean, he's always been one of those, transparent guys. I've been lucky enough to be around, I was in Sunny Hill. I was in Total Response. So I've been around that for a long, long time. But that whole process, the NBA, the college, the recruiting, I think, for one of the top players in the country,
mm-hmm.
who was actually number one, I think it gives you just an insight of what that was.
Mm-hmm.
And man, salute, man. And I just had to tell you, I had one story,
mm-hmm.
and it always sticks out to me, because I was playing with Sam Rhines,
mm-hmm.
Sam Rhines Sr. So we were playing at LaSalle University, and I had a 7-foot ball. His name was Randy Edney.
Uh-huh.
Now, Randy Edney started playing. He played with the Harlem Wizards.
Mm-hmm.
He played Mount St. Mary's Harlem Wizards. He's 7 foot. So he was taller than she.
Gotcha.
So this was after we played him at Franklin Mills.
Mm-hmm.
So I told you he dunked on my one bull 10 times.
Yes.
Matt Harrington, I'm sorry I had to put you out there. He did that too.
No doubt.
But I tell Randy, I said, Randy, stay chill. I said, she's not going to play
mm-hmm.
until you start talking to him.
No doubt.
So Randy comes down, hits like 3 straight jump hooks on him. So he comes down to me and he goes, oh, he ain't that good. I said, yo, man, just shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say nothing.
Stay in your lane.
So he hits another jump hook, and he said, yo, you ain't what they make you out to be.
Uh-oh.
No lie. They go to the free throw line, and RASHEED is not shooting. He's the second one in.
Uh-huh.
So whatever happened, the dude missed the shot, and it bounces off the rim. Now, remember, Randy Edney's 7 foot. RASHEED catches the ball off the rim, dunks the ball, and puts his leg around his neck. Randy Edney, for the next 40 minutes, Randy Edney didn't score another point, didn't get another rebound, and she went, he had about 30 points, all dunks on him.
Crazy, yo.
So to this day, I'm like, yo, man, you got to know where to stay. Stay in your lane.
That's right.
And I just always remember that, because I'm sitting there like, we had some fun times. You playing with the Harry Allens,
that's
the
right.
P's, the Charles Smith, like that's what it was. But
yeah.
She was just that one dude who was a little different.
A little bit different.
Yeah.
Hey, well, I'm gonna tap a couple more people in. Hey, jump
doubt.
hoop shorts. Anybody else want to go live? I'm gonna tap my man out. Wait for somebody else. Hey, appreciate you, big dog. Bless you, man, for the memories, man.
No doubt.
Yep. Hey, anybody else want to jump on, man? I want to hear your reflections. Somebody else send me a request to join the broadcast. Anybody else have any reflections on the interview tonight? What stuck out to you? If anybody has any RASHEED WALLACE, y'all go right ahead. Somebody, let me see who else. Yeah. Any other requests? Anybody else want to jump on real quick? Share any RASHEED WALLACE memories or reflections on how you guys like the interview or anything like that. If not, I'm go ahead and salute out. I appreciate y'all, man. If this was your first time watching Legends Week, this is what it is. This is the platform. You can go to my YouTube channel, Raw Sports Films, and watch past episodes of Legends Week. And also go to rawsportsapparel.com. Here we go. Got somebody else. Let me see. Maybe a reception issue waiting for it. Hey, Real Deal 215. I tried to pull you in, but it wouldn't allow you to pull in. Send me another request, see if I can try it again. But in the meantime, if y'all support the movement, y'all like what Big Star is doing, want to support what my efforts with the kids and putting the content out there, go to rawsportsapparel.com. You can grab yourself a t-shirt, hoodie, hat, or anything like that. Hold up. Hey, Matthews, 215. How'd you like the interview, man?
Oh man, awesome interview,
what stuck
bro.
out to you, man?
Awesome
What you enjoy about it?
Everything, man. I thought the Stack Joy was the best one you
So
did
you thought the Jerry
one,
Stackhouse was the best until tonight?
To this one, yeah, man. That Stack, but what? Sheed is a little older than me.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
I went to FLC. Yeah,
no doubt.
I graduated in '97, but his last year, I was in 8th grade. His last year, but I remember at the Civic Center they played against
no doubt. Jay
Lawson.
Ooh, Jay Lawson. Listen,
he killed him.
That's when Philly,
he killed him.
The pub, the public league, the pub. Listen, I wanted to talk. I forgot.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
Pub. But if you can, man, for the younger generation, tell everybody what the pub was all about, man. Because now it's all about the Catholic League, but the pub was like the NBA, man.
Man. Hey, Big Star, no, you need to get on here.
Oh, no doubt, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's definitely coming.
Yeah, but yo, it was crazy back then, man. I loved the pub back then, man. Now I think it's watered down.
The Catholic League took over, you know what I'm saying?
The Catholic League took over because back in the early '90s,
I ain't hear nothing about
it was only Roman.
Only Roman. That's it. Me. I grew up in Norristown. All we heard about was
back then.
Public League Championship. The pub. That's it.
It was Public League, but the Catholic League was just Roman. And then once you got to the 2000s, that's when Newman, Roman, and all that. But back in the early '90s, it was all Public League. It was FLC, Gratz. Yeah, Overbrook with Lawrence Pembroke and them dudes.
U City,
Brockenborough, U City.
Down.
Yeah, FLC with Newt Arnold and all them dudes. But this was a good one. I enjoy your stuff, man. Keep it up.
Appreciate you, man. Bro, God bless you. Make sure you stay tuned in. I got more guests coming. It's definitely going down. God's blessing us. Open up tons of doors. I appreciate you, big dog.
Logging off.
Appreciate you, big dog.
Logging off, but good looking, bro.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all. It's the end of the night. Legends Week. Make sure y'all come back. My next show, and keep checking the page. If you haven't followed, make sure you follow me now, so you get the notifications, and you'll see the posts when I announce a new guest. I have something within the next couple of days. Next week is definitely going down, man. Appreciate y'all. God bless. Wifey's telling me to wrap it up. Look, this is my wife right here, y'all. Look, this is my wife right here. Let me see. Pen her comment. That's wifey. That's her universal sign saying, Big Star, wrap it up. Hey, God bless y'all. I'll talk to y'all again soon, man. Legends Week.
Spell Krzyzewski and Wojciechowski. Oh, they're awesome tonight, baby, with a capital A. Yes, the mighty blue, the heels are on fire. He's under a little extra pressure, having a little problems academically, according to all the papers. His status is going up in front of a board, involving a possibility of a little problem with I guess it was a term paper. Wallace, look at